Welcome to the Intoxicated Podcast, a weekly comedy talk show that dives into the personal lives of comedians, experts, and creators. I'm your host, Sarah McClellan, a very amateur stand-up comedian and self-proclaimed sad girl. It's the comedy podcast with a lot of heart. Feel hard and talk hard. This is the Intoxicated Podcast. All right, let's do this shit. This is the most awkward podcast first date ever.
Let's go.
Let's go.
We're here for it.
I'm starstruck and so excited to have my guest today. Two very special guests, absolutely killing it in the podcast space. And I flooded them with compliments, and I will continue to. They are the hosts of the Elev8 Podcast. Elevate the number 8.
Hey,
everybody.
True. Let's go.
Very specific.
Josh and Dalton from Elev8 Podcast.
Hello.
Wow, 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 wow. Welcome.
Hello.
Let's go.
Oh my
Let's go.
God.
The boys
Oh,
went
not
to
the Calgary
second
Flames
round,
hat. Give it
where
up.
the boys are excited. Let's
oh wait,
go.
was there a hockey game or something?
Yeah,
That's who I'm
I stayed up till
like.
2 a.m.
What?
last night watching it.
What happened? That was it good? It was good for Calgary.
Good for
right?
Calgary. Yeah, scored
Bad for.
the Dallas Stars.
Okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
Yeah, they suck. Frig Dallas. All I know, people were very heated that the Toronto Maple Leafs lost.
Yes, they were.
That was apparently a big deal.
Yeah.
People taking hockey personally here?
I know.
No way.
I don't know anything about that.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So you're hockey fans, obviously.
Just me. I'm just.
Yeah, I'm a baseball fan.
Baseball.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, you're good.
I thought you kind of were like sports. You're kind of like, that's cool, but not for me.
Oh, I like baseball.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. I'm going to see 2 Jays games next week.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Oh, good to
fuck
know.
yeah. So Josh and Dalton, I want to know. Well, first, tell everybody all about Elev8 Podcast. What it is,
Oh, gosh.
why people should listen,
What is Elev8
what
Podcast?
you cover on it.
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. No, we're super psyched. So we've, the Elev8 Podcast really started out as a business marketing and design podcast is where it started.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. We had a lot of great guests on. We had a guest on every week was the goal. And it was a lot of fun, very kind of similar to like kind of your setup here, right? And then we kind of like had a break last summer. It's like, things just started soaring for us.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it was just kind of our takes on like just stuff that we're educated on personally, whether it be like, real estate, what's going on in the city, what's happening on a political level with the city, with housing, stuff like that. Is when things started popping. And then like we started then we kept bringing guests on, and those episodes were doing less and less well.
Yeah.
And then the episodes that were just us were doing increasingly better. And we're just like, oh, people are listening to us now? That wasn't the plan.
Yeah.
That wasn't the plan. So now we kind of hit on like still heavy on business stuff, but also how politics plays.
Politics, marketing. So you talk a lot about trending subjects sort of in that space.
Yeah, exactly.
And what are people talking about? And that's what I love about your show, because I'm not somebody who reads the news ever. I don't know what the fuck is going on ever, unless it's like on Twitter or it shows up in my feed.
Right.
I'm not someone who chunks out a time in my day to like read the news, which is bad because you should.
To an extent, though, sometimes ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
That's true too.
Because the world's scary.
It sure is.
Yeah.
It sure is. But in a podcast form, it's a very cool, digestible way to like digest information.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite way to do it. So like what you guys are doing is just that. And so like truly, everybody listening, subscribe to their show. Because like, number one, you'll find out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, you'll be entertained because you have some good banter and back and forth and opinions. And you get into like some really good discussions.
Yeah, we have
about things.
opinions. Definitely.
You have those opinions.
Absolutely.
You're not just like, this happened. And
The
that's
thing
it.
that
We'll leave it at that.
Josh and I have said all the time is to have different opinions, but be able to continue talking about it is like so unique, especially right now, where it's like instantly, maybe what's the word? Like not criminalized, but like tear people apart just for thinking differently, or to cut them out of your life, or we think differently about most things. I would say certainly that involve heavy, real things. Like know, it's only natural to have opinions on them.
That's right.
And it's kind of freeing to just go on the internet and speak them.
And podcasting does that for people.
Yeah.
It is the coolest. Like,
we record on Wednesdays, and it's just like you get to like let it all out Wednesday night.
True.
So like, I need to know though, like, do you get backlash?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the TikTok warriors are strong, man.
And this is, yes, we got to mention this. So you have to follow Elev8 on TikTok, because what you guys are doing on there is just absolutely phenomenal. Amazing TikTok videos. You post podcast clips. They're very fun. And like, I always look and I'm like, holy shit, all the views and comments that y'all get. So like, you have that audience
Yes.
on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, I think I heard on one of your episodes you say something like it doesn't equal podcast numbers. And it's true. It's very hard to convert the TikTok people who are just consuming those 1-minute clips to subscribers.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so much easier to convert a listener to a TikTok viewer than
than the other way around, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's about consistency and persistence. I found with TikTok specifically. Like, you're never gonna get one listener after one good TikTok, but if you hit like 5, 6, 7 really good TikToks that the same person's hitting, then they'll subscribe. And that's what we have found. Like, a lot of people have like found us through TikTok and started listening full time through TikTok.
Oh, nice.
But that's because they hit like 5 or 6, 7 videos. They really hit them emotionally.
Right.
And like, the big thing about our show, and it's something I live by, is no one will ever remember what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel. And that's what our TikToks are really aimed at, is like really hitting people's emotions and getting them to think about really what's going on, whether it be more light subjects or heavier ones.
Oh my God. What to put. So, okay. I have literally so many questions for you guys.
Totally.
On how you run things.
I love it.
As somebody who started podcasting 5 years ago, what a shit show that was. I had no sweet clue what I was doing. There was no information about this fucking art form.
Absolutely.
Whatsoever. I got a fucking $60 snowball mic.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh yeah.
I put it on a case of DVDs stacked like this, and I got it close to my mouth. Like, we stacked them on like DVDs. One snowball. My first episode had 3 guests with one snowball.
That's kind of
mic.
iconic though.
That's amazing.
I have a picture of like us like kind of circled around the snowball mic, but I launched, like, it was like the clumsiest launch. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know about branding. I didn't even know what my show was going to be. And so now I'm watching, people like you, Elev8, and like Weekend Roundup, and all these podcasts that are coming up, so polished and well done right off the bat. I'm like, well, number one, I'm jealous. Fuck you guys. No, but also I'm just like, this is, how cool is this? That now podcasting is something that you can really like, you can have a really good launch versus just kind of clumsily stumbling into it like I did. So how did this all happen?
Well,
take me back to the origin.
I mean, it was literally one night in the middle of the pandemic, and I had thought about wanting to do a podcast for a long time, but I will say, to preface all this, for a long time throughout our show, like up until I would say quite recently, just battling imposter syndrome, because Josh, with the design background, new marketing, new branding, and stuff like that. So just very recently, it's become an opportunity for me to kind of step up, where I was more so just like a personality. I felt like the personality. But Josh sent me a text and was like, have you ever thought about starting a podcast? And then from there, Josh went crazy to work. And I mean, you can take it from there, because I mean, you knocked the beginning out of the park.
Oh, appreciate that. It was, for the big thing for us, like for me, I've always wanted to start a podcast. And I actually started my own like 5 years ago. I started my own one.
Yeah.
That literally, as we talked about before the show, lasted about 10 episodes. And the reason being is because I was doing so much. I obviously had my full-time job, but I also started a vlog that went 60 episodes deep. And then I was trying to do the podcast at the same time, and it was just getting too much for me. So the podcast naturally fell off, but I kept going with the vlog. And that was fun, but then the vlog got tiring too, because I was taking easily 12, 15, 16 hours of editing a week to do an episode every week.
Holy shit.
And so I just ended up, that kind of fell off. And then obviously, as Dalton said, the pandemic hit and I was like, I really want to start podcasting again. Like I really enjoyed that form of communication. I just know that I can't do it on my own like I did before, or it will end. Like I just won't continue.
It's unsustainable.
Exactly. And so I'm like, I need someone who's going to do it with me and who'd be willing to do it with me. And that's when Dalton came to mind.
Enter Dalton.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. And that's when I called him that night. I was out for a walk at 1 a.m. And I was like, I'm just going to text him, see what's up.
What a fever dream.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And so
it was a podcast booty call.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you podcast booty call there. You want to go steady? Oh, do you want to be my host?
Yeah.
Do you want to be the podcast host?
Exactly. No, that's exactly what happened. And he was like, oh, I was actually thinking doing the same thing. And so that's kind of where it went. And again, we started on the old Zencaster and
good old Zencaster.
Yeah. And we just kind of went from there and was like, we really lucked out in that regard where we just kind of, our whole goal from the beginning was we saw the stats, right? Most podcasts don't last 7 episodes on average. They get to 7 and they drop off. And so my goal is like, I really want to dedicate I really want to do this for 2 years. If I can do this for 2 years, and if it hasn't gone anywhere after 2 years, then we'll quit. But if something happens after 2 years, then we'll keep it going. But
see, guys, 2 years, not 5.
Yeah.
Give yourself 2 years and then figure the fuck out what you're doing.
No, it's like everyone's got their obviously their times, right?
But that's a good amount of time,
Yeah.
and it's lofty though, because again, like you said, it's people love the idea of doing a podcast until they realize how much work.
Yeah. It does take a lot of
goes
work.
into it.
And there was a reason why we hired a producer, right? Because like I was the first season, I did everything on my own. I did all the editing, did all the posting.
While working.
And it was like it was starting to wear on me to the point that's why I ended up hiring somebody, right?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so keen. Let's crack a window. It's fucking
please.
so hot in here.
Maybe this sounds like I'm also only 23, but I swear, like when I was a kid, it wasn't. Our summers weren't humid. I don't know if you lived here. You lived Halifax your whole.
Antigonish and then Halifax. So Nova Scotia.
I don't remember it ever being humid in the summer, and now I find like it just sucks. Summer's
global
like
warming, baby.
I know. Well, yeah.
That sun's gonna explode soon.
It is happening. I know.
Shout out the sun.
Shut up.
Shut up, global warming. Oh my gosh.
Shut up the world ending.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously.
Yeah, none of this matters anyway.
Yeah. Seriously.
True. But so you gave it the 2 years.
Yeah. So it was 2 years of like, that's kind of what I was learning from a lot of my friends as well. People who are kind of in the business world who were starting a podcast as well. Like a lot of people from what I was hearing, that was the consistent 2 years when you start monetizing, 2 years when you start picking up. And so I was like, okay, we'll give ourselves 2 years and whatever, we'll see what happens. And it took us a solid, I think it ended up being 14-15 months before anyone even knew who we were.
Yep.
Hear that, everybody?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so now I need to ask the gold question. If no one knew who you were, why'd you keep doing it? What were you getting out of the experience?
It was fun.
It was therapy for me through the pandemic personally.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice. That's
Like
really nice.
we just didn't like, for me, that was part of the reason why we started. Was I just needed something to look forward to through all of it. I get like, I think that's when
every day was the same.
Yeah, I think it was the third day of the pandemic in. I was like waking up and I was like, it's Groundhog Day. Like I can't keep doing this. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I need something. And that's when the idea of the podcast came up. I'm like, I don't care if anyone's listening. It just gives me something to do.
Which is strange because I think a lot of podcasts started for this reason, but podcast listenership was really low at the start of the pandemic because of no one driving to work and things like that. Listenership was actually down, but it picked back up, of course. Podcasts will always be booming.
Yeah.
But it was a strange time. I remember it too because I actually had a friend die right before lockdown.
Oh.
And it was like, okay, what's okay, the world's gonna end? Oh, and my friend died? What the fuck?
Yeah.
And then I lost my job, like contract didn't renew or whatever. I was in event planning, so like not a good time to be an event planner. Yeah, not a good time. Not many events happening like March 31st, you know? So like I was like, okay, now I have to I was so used to doing like in person interviews, and I love this so much more than fucking
agreed.
Zoom and remote. You just can't connect with people that
I
way.
remember that second lockdown happened, which would have been not this December that just passed, but the December before. So the December of 2020.
Yes.
Going into 2021.
Yeah.
That one gut punched me harder than the first lockdown.
What about the May one? The May 2021.
Even worse.
That was my worst one.
Even worse. Because it was just this like sick game where I would get it back and then it would get taken away from me.
That's right.
And it was so hard. And I didn't like feel the same doing remote podcasts. I didn't feel the same when we would have a guest on. I felt like we weren't doing the get, like it just was all weird. I didn't.
All the adapting.
And we started remote. Obviously, we had to.
Yeah.
But then we were given the opportunity to do them in person, and then it kept getting taken away. And
got the taste of it, and then it just.
So luckily, we've been on a fair stint so far.
Mm-hmm.
Of in person, so much better.
And these guys have such an insane setup, and I can't compliment you enough at how well done the show is, and it looks great, and you should be very proud of what you've made up to this point.
Really
like it's insanely good.
Thank you.
But fuck you. No, I'm just
that's the comedian coming out.
It's so good, and you're having fun with it, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
And these motherfuckers give away. You guys hide gift cards.
Oh yeah.
I need to know. The only I don't know what to give you, intoxicated listeners. I have no sweet clue. I can maybe give you like a talking to or something, but like I cannot give you $100. I made a joke TikTok in the summer of 2020 because I had noticed TikTokers were going around hiding money.
Right. Yes.
And it was one of my like more higher viewed ones.
Good.
I was just like, where are you guys getting this money? I don't even have shoes with not holes in them. Like what the hell? And then like this TikToker, I forget her fucking name. She's I think in New Brunswick. Mm-hmm. She's one that always hides gift cards. Always hides.
Oh yeah. Yes, I've definitely seen them.
Mm.
She saw that and they duetted it and they were laughing so hard. I was like straight up making fun of them.
Right.
Of like influencers. Halifax, Nova Scotia, like
totally.
Go here and find this. And I was like straight making fun, and then she duetted it and
that's
like was
laughing,
and then sent me $20 to Starbucks.
Oh wow!
To be like, because I was very honest. I was just like, I lost my job. I have no money. I'm on CERB right now.
Right.
Or no, I think at the time I was on EI.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just a really funny moment, that whole TikTok thing. But I was just like, oh, thank God she was a good sport because I was making fun of you.
Right.
Yeah, she took that like a champ for sure.
Absolutely.
But like, tell me about this giveaway stuff. What sparked this idea? And
well, it's you seem like you want to say something.
To me, I mean, obviously there's two parts to it. It's we're privileged enough to be able to do it.
That's good.
And it's fun to do them. It also provides great content.
Yes.
And it gets our listeners, our listeners are just like straight up G's because they will always video duet.
That's
and so
awesome.
It's cool. You get to see a listener.
Yeah.
Where it's like, when would you get to do that? Right. Like not typically, like unless you have like a meet and greet. Like I don't know when else I would see them, and they'll always video react to it, and it's just cool to see someone.
Oh, that's really neat.
Who knows what that did? Maybe, I mean, it's only $50, but for someone, it's
$50. I could use $50 right now.
So I think there's a lot of people like that. So
transfer you after this.
I'll take it. You know what?
But we need an invoice.
I radically accept. Like some people are just like, oh no, I don't want to seem like broke or desperate.
Right.
But I'm like, especially people like in relationships and stuff. I'm like, your bills are half the cost of mine. Give me that.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. If someone's willing to give you something, you take it.
Right.
They're an adult.
Radically accept.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People who give gifts want you to have them.
Absolutely right.
Them.
And a gift's a gift.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Gift's a gift.
Yeah.
And there's like, and this isn't where it ends for us. Like there's, we want to build on that idea even more as we go forward. And we have actually a bunch of stuff in the kind of the pipeline where we want to not just obviously just give away gift cards, but we want to have a little more serious impact on people's lives.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So we have some stuff planned where we really want to help out those who are struggling, who are just saying finances aren't really, going well. We've been kind of saving up some money and getting some stuff together to be able to help out some real people in need. So that's our next plan.
Fucking angels. What? Why do I have comedians on all the time? You guys are trash. Look at these angels here.
I know.
I try to be funny.
I know. It's like, I'm
like
funny
wanting
looking.
to like wanting to help people. Like, oh my gosh, bless you guys. That is so nice. So like you have a larger kind of like, not only are you doing this show that's like super informative and entertaining and you're having fun doing it and having these conversations, but you want to have a larger purpose out there, which is so nice.
Absolutely. I think, well, at our course, Josh and I are both business people as well. So it was hard to look at this as like a hobby.
Yes.
You know, it immediately became a business, you know? And so, you know, just as soon as we saw traction and then we know, like, you know, we can see there's almost like a separate ecosystem that is TikTok where not necessarily those people are listening to the podcast, but they get value from our short content.
And they know who you are.
Right.
Your name.
Exactly.
It's brand awareness.
Exactly. And brand awareness. And I mean, marketing is what's, you know, gonna
Shout out brand awareness.
Oh, straight up.
Is that your merch?
Sort of.
Well, it's coming.
You have merch coming? Oh, I'll totally buy a shirt.
Oh, we love that.
Straight up, yeah.
That.
Hell yeah.
You can use the $50 we'll give you.
Just give me a shirt, you guys. I'll wear it to open mics.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Please.
Like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, yeah. No,
yeah, we've been
that is
sneakily
so cool.
wearing this on our last few episodes, just to see, you know.
in.
Yeah, exactly.
Sneak it in.
So, you know, and that's just it. Is it's like, there's always something bigger going on behind the scenes.
I love it, and I love what you said about like, it's not just a hobby; it's a business.
Mm-hmm.
I think some people might hear that and go, "Ooh, like that means it's not as like sincere." And I disagree. I've kind of treated Intoxicated like a business for a long time, and I don't make dog shit off of this. You know, like
But
I don't.
it's the mindset.
I don't. It's the mindset, and it's the work ethic, which is something that I truly don't think everyone has that.
You're born with it.
Yeah.
You cannot force someone to be driven.
Yeah. So true.
You cannot. And I think the really important part is where you mentioned you might not be sincere, and it comes across when you are on a show. And I hope it comes across as sincere when we're on a show. And that's the thing, is we are sincere, you know?
Absolutely, you are.
We're also just business people, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, congrats. Like
Thank you.
This is too cool. So we've talked a lot about the podcast. Woof. We're going to talk about you guys now.
All right,
personally.
let's go.
All right.
So I want to know, first of all, should I get you another beer?
Let me think here.
I can get you one.
I think I will.
I'll bring them here.
I'll rock
and
another.
You don't have to drink them right away.
Not to be ill, but we need the bottle opener.
Sit down here.
I'm so sorry. I'm trapped in the corner. I'd get it.
Not to be ill.
That's his word.
Thanks.
What does ill mean? Like that?
Ill, yeah, just like rude or like inconsiderate.
So young.
I grew up in the North End.
He calls me that all the time.
I don't know any of this.
Yeah, sometimes I get a little ghetto, but it is what it is.
No, you're not ghetto. You're Gen Z.
That's right.
So true.
That's right. Shut up.
And Josh, are you technically a millennial or no? You're not quite.
I'm 100% millennial.
Yeah, typical.
are?
Yeah.
Typical.
So millennial and Gen Z.
Yeah, that's what makes the dynamic so
The
interesting.
dynamic is so interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get into it.
Like, we're not supposed to get along.
Yeah.
Okay.
We shouldn't be getting along.
So friendship origin, how did you meet?
Speaking of origin. Speaking of millennial versus Gen
Oh my
Z.
God, yeah. It's funny because this story does involve my mom. Yeah. So I was at the community college, NSCC, and I was finishing my first year, and part of their shtick is you have to co-op each year. To graduate, you have to do a work placement at least 1 month long.
Gotcha.
Once term, so once a year.
Got ya.
And I was just applying everywhere for internships. And my mom is a property manager for a real estate company here. And she was like, one of my tenants is a tech company. Like, you should reach out to them. And I said, okay.
Whoa.
But then she did for me.
Don't you love that?
She emailed Josh for me.
It's okay. My mom quit my first job at Dairy Queen. So I feel you.
She quit your job for you? That's pretty
amazing.
iconic. That's pretty iconic.
My friends made fun of me forever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Were you young?
Yeah, grade 11.
Oh, that is hard to overcome.
Yeah.
At the time,
and
that
I was
is
just
soul
like, bitch,
crushing.
I didn't ask for this.
Oh
Anyway.
no, that is soul crushing.
Yeah.
In the moment, to be honest, I was oblivious. I was just like, hell yeah, I don't gotta look anymore, you know, because I was just like, I want my diploma. Unbeknownst to me, actually, until like a year ago, Josh judged me heavily for that. He was like, you had to get your mom to email.
You
couldn't
were
even
that person.
couldn't even email yourself and shake my hand, look me in the eye.
That millennial.
Gen Z.
The millennial. You gotta work for everything you get.
Pay your dues.
I was laughing, right? Because like we had all these we were interviewing interns, and you know, everyone was just contacting me, emailing me, and so someone's mom had to email me. I was like,
But you picked me.
but this is like,
So what stood out?
he was free.
Yeah, that is true. NSCC doesn't
You
let
were
you.
cheap.
Yeah, NSCC, like Dal co-ops, part of Dal's thing is like you have to be paid.
Right.
Rightfully so. But I mean,
That's a whole other
I was at
topic.
NSCC, so I had to graduate, had to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
So
you.
it's really enticing to an employee. You get a month of free work.
Yeah.
That's sick for an
Yeah.
employer.
And
It's true. We have 2 right now at my work.
nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And listen, I think it's great that NSCC does get you to do that.
Yeah.
It was valuable to see professionals working. I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, and you're learning by doing, which is so helpful.
Absolutely. To have like, you know, to see like, I guess, how would you say, like career professionals? Like there are some devs that I had worked with who had been devs for 5 years. And so like to see them operate is like, oh, wow, like we're not even close. But it was
Right.
it was very interesting to watch, at least to inspire.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Totally.
So you worked for his company.
Yeah.
Well, I worked at, I was like, essentially at that point was
You were the office manager,
office
yeah.
manager, yeah. So
As well, yeah, you were in your UX role, but office manager as well. Because it was it was like a very quaint
bootstrap
office.
startup.
It was just enough to operate, but it
I love that so much.
but it operated.
So much heart in those companies.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah,
So much heart.
and it was fun,
Yes.
especially because then I joined on full time after, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
and then COVID happened. You see those people start to leave and move on to new things, and it's kind of like a breakup.
Yeah, and you see people who they pick jobs that are more comfortable but less fulfilling.
Certainly my role right now, I would say for sure, where it's like, it's comfortable, you know, it's not my forever, so it's comfortable for now, you know.
Comfortable for now, yeah.
There's like end game. I'm a very calculated person, so it's like, you know, there's always an end game.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Learning lots here.
Mhm.
So there was a work dynamic.
Yeah, there
Yes.
was.
What took it from coworkers to friends?
I think
There's an age
I think they
gap.
were synonymous.
yeah,
I've always
partially-
considered you my friend.
Okay, I appreciate that. Well, yeah, like I think I could definitely see it. I think for us, we hit it off on the business front. There wasn't many people that we worked with that like viewed business the same way we did.
Yeah.
I found that was the thing we really connected on.
Yeah, that's when it like changed. When it was
Yeah.
like, because you had work friends, like we were work friends.
Mhm.
Right.
And then it was like we were talking outside of work, and and then it was like we would go do things like after work or whatever, and I was like, it just changed once we realized we have something very important in common.
Which is a business, like how approaches to business?
Yeah, and especially one thing I'll say about Dalton is, I mean, at the time I met him, 19 years old.
Oh my gosh, so young.
But like the knowledge he already had on real estate was like just would blow your mind. And that's why anytime any of our listeners find out Dalton's age, it freaks them out.
Yeah.
Because he's like, wait, how does he know so much at such a young age?
Yeah.
And it causes a lot. It can also cause people to also not like you.
I
for
have
that reason.
They're intimidated.
Mhm.
absolutely, and it's taken me a long time to realize, when people sometimes people can see in you what you can't see in yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and they get intimidated by that spark.
What? How old are you again?
22, but it's true. And the case where I
Very
learned
smart.
it was, I was getting renovations done to just a back deck, literally like a back deck at one of the properties that I own.
Yeah.
And this gentleman came and quoted me. It was like 22 grand for 2 decks. And I thought, okay, I don't know. I don't know any better, but my gut said I have to check.
Okay.
So I had my dad get a quote for the property next door that I don't even own that had the same 2 style decks
Uh-huh.
with the same company. And for him, it was like 10 grand less.
Oh.
And I went, I got you. I got your number. I figured you out. And there's been, I mean, numerous cases where I've been taken advantage of or made to feel less than, you know, just they've made an assumption about me, about my age, about what that means I can do.
Have you ever lied about your age?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have absolutely.
God bless the honesty.
I don't owe anyone anything. And I don't owe them honesty either, unfortunately, because if they're willing to screw me on my age, I'm willing to lie to protect myself.
So true. God damn.
Yeah.
God damn, Dalton.
I have. Well, I suppose you kind of have to when it's, 22 grand is, especially when I'm just starting, that could kill me.
That
could take me out.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I hadn't known any better and I wasted that money on a deck, not knowing.
And you just kind of had that hunch of, I got to look into this more.
Yeah.
There was like a curiosity there.
He had the number too quickly. He had the number on site. Like you didn't have to go back and calculate anything. It was so strange.
So do you find that you can read people really well?
I've learned to. Certainly learned to.
I find that business people are really good at that. I think because there's so much risk and so much on you when you're an entrepreneur that it's like you're always just on high alert.
Absolutely.
And trust is like such a precious thing.
Yeah, unfortunately that it's made me into that person, which I don't like in my personal life, where I don't trust people in a business sense or sometimes personally until I'm proven I can, where most people in my life trust until they're proven they can't. It's just, I've been burned that way so many times. So it's just, it's not something I like about myself, but it's the consequences of my circumstance.
Interesting. So fascinating. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Josh.
Let's go. I have to follow that up.
That's the truth. I lived a lot of life, man.
Wow. And so there is, so 23?
23 next month.
23. You're 23.
I'm 23. Really.
We're rounding you up.
Yeah.
I'm 29. That's actually not too much of an age gap. It's not
absurd.
It's not absurd, but there is definitely.
I would say it's maybe uncommon.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I think that helps us.
Yeah.
At least in terms of the podcast, it's so unique.
Yes, because you're coming from, you have the same perspective on things, but then also different.
Yes.
At the same time, which is nice. Because I think if it was too similar all around, it wouldn't be.
We would just be agreeing with each other the whole night.
Wouldn't be interesting to listen to.
Well, that's the thing. Is like I caught that even early on, because I found like I was uncomfortable with how much we agreed on things. I didn't like that. I was like, I gotta disagree with Dalton on something here, and so we've recently been hitting some of those lately, which I'm happy about. But like, there's times I'll intentionally make sure we hit on topics that we both disagree on, just to make it interesting and actually have some real conversation.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah, and you're both fans of sitting through the conversation, actually having the conversation.
Absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
Which so many people, they shy away from it. I don't want to hear it. This is my stance.
Yep.
Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two things in life. You can not assume you get to go through this life unoffended, but you can choose to not be offended. I choose to not be offended.
Yeah.
Your words have, if I cussed you out in a foreign language, it wouldn't offend you, right? Because there's no meaning to those words.
That's right.
So I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah. And also, don't take things personally.
Yeah.
It's not always about you.
It's not. Sometimes it just is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So this work term happened. It kind of cemented a friendship. And then, so how long were you friends before you launched Elev8?
Oh, so I would have done the first term in 2018 and we started
2 years.
2
Okay,
years.
So 2-year friendship.
Yeah.
And you hung out outside of work, got to know each other outside of work. Stayed in touch, like.
Certainly stayed in touch.
Yeah, I don't think we ever hung out unless it was in a group setting with other people. It wasn't actually until the podcast where we started hanging out more one-on-one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things you and I did do though that provided me immense value. I'm not an overly religious person, but I do have faith. Yeah. But Josh really helped me understand how to read a Bible.
No way.
Yeah.
There's an art to it?
Yeah. Well, it's just I was reading it literally.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fascinated.
Yeah.
Okay, Josh, back to you.
Oh, no.
Swinging it over to you. So tech. So family was in tech. Or wait, no, sorry. You worked in tech.
I work in tech, yeah.
And your family, your mom and dad were ministers.
Yeah, exactly.
What religion?
We were non-denominational.
Oh.
So that was like the focus like of my upbringing was like just really getting back to what the Bible's really talking about rather than like what religion should tell us or what tradition tells us.
Interesting.
And so like the big lesson my parents really ingrained in me is like, we don't want you to become a Christian because we want you to come to that on your own. If you believe there's no God, then that's awesome. We support you regardless.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But we really want you to, come to your own conclusion on things because these are important things. So like, if you think it's real, that means something.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, then that means something too. So, but yeah, just like, I mean, I, became a Christian probably when I was about 16. And kind of through there, just all the things that came up through that is like kind of going back to what we talked about. Where like I'm very open to being wrong because I've been very wrong about my faith on numerous occasions, and I'm very open with that. There's things I thought the Bible was talking about, it wasn't talking about. I was wrong on that. And there's just ways that we view it in a Western lens.
Right.
It was written in an Eastern lens, and we need to understand culture and understand how, say, like a Jewish person would perceive what things are being written. So that's kind of what I've learned a lot over the years and how to be better because it's helped me understand the scriptures better, helped me to love people better. Because right now, let's talk about all like the hot button issues of religion versus science, religion versus gay people, like all that trash, right? Like it's just so those conflicts are so westernized. It's actually kind of crazy.
Right.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I love what you said about like how your parents like kind of let you decide.
Right.
I think that there's a stigma
Mm-hmm.
on like Christians and people who are religious who like everyone just is instantly like, oh no, that's not for me because it's so strict and people get forced into it. And like, for example, like I kind of was too, like I had to go to church every Sunday. And I decided to stop going.
Totally.
And when I decided to stop going, my sisters slowly stopped going.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
My dad still goes every Sunday. So it's kind of one of those things where like I think that they wanted me to get confirmed.
Right.
Yeah.
Catholic. Yeah.
Yep.
Makes sense. Mm-hmm.
Before they let me decide whether or not, which I'm like, that's kind of a trick.
Right.
Yeah.
I got confirmed. But it was just things that I heard actually at my sister's wedding that made me go, I don't know if this is for me so much.
Right.
Because it was things like you need to raise children under the church. And I just kind of went, well, what if they don't want to have kids? What if they don't want to raise them that way?
Yeah.
What if? And I just kind of got kind of curious.
Some real questions.
But honestly, as I'm getting older, I respect and appreciate people who are spiritual and have that religious connection more now because I go, life's fucking so fragile.
Yeah.
We could die literally tomorrow. And I would like to die with some peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what religion brings people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Like in some, I can't believe how deep we're getting right away.
I mean, I find it comforting for sure.
I find it comforting. Like I always,
and it's made me at peace with the thought of death.
That's a huge thing. I think it brings a lot of comfort and connection to people who otherwise might feel very alone in the world.
Easily.
And there's something to be said for that.
Yeah.
Certainly.
So don't knock it. Like, let's not, again, going back to.
If it's not for you, it's okay.
Yeah, if it's not for you, it's okay. But also respect what people do. And decide how to live their lives. So
yeah,
absolutely.
In any facet, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Like no matter what anyone does or makes a decision, it's like it's
their life.
Yeah,
exactly.
Were you religious? Did you have a religious upbringing?
Yep, I was brought up Catholic. I had my first communion. I believe I was confirmed. I unfortunately don't remember. My grandmother is from Greece, and so she was brought up Orthodox. And so I was privy to both. And there's things I've found from both and love. I've had friends who were united, who I've heard things from there that I love. And I've gone to some of Josh's like non-denominational Sunday masses and heard things I loved.
Fascinating.
I don't subscribe to anything in particular, but I just subscribe to faith.
God, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
it's almost like there's nuance in the world.
You mean it's not black and white and just
It's almost like
that.
it's not
almost like that
binary.
there's some gray areas that we can have fun in.
Yeah, imagine that, right?
Yeah, and I think part of it that's such a good way to say it too is if something isn't fun, I think we are innately born knowing how to have fun. I think 100% humans are born knowing when something feels good and when it doesn't.
That's right.
It is something we're born with. So if it doesn't feel right and it's not fun, look into it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not for you.
Yeah.
And have curiosity about things
About everything.
About everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing you shouldn't be curious about.
Like I want to ask you what so non-dominational,
Mm-hmm.
what does that look like in terms of a mass? Like, is it similar to like a Catholic Christian mass type thing, or?
Yeah, it's a little different. Like, so even for example, like even like the Christians who claim to be non-denominational, like what they tend to ascribe to is like, well, we don't really ascribe to any type of structure. Like, really, it's all about the Bible. But even then, over time, that's just humans love tradition. They naturally go into that.
Yeah.
And so as like a non-denominational service, like it was, you come in, you sing some songs. You listen to someone talk about a communion thought, and then you kind of take communion. Then someone comes in and does like a 45-minute sermon, and you listen to that, and it's like, okay, I feel better. Sing a couple more songs and call it a day. That's kind of how usually the structure would be.
Interesting.
And so that's kind of like what a typical service would look like. So like whereas a Catholic mass is like a lot of like praying, getting on your knees,
and kneel, and stand and sit.
There's a lot of cadence and
Yeah.
a lot of structure to it.
Yeah.
Whereas like non-denominationalism tries to get away from that, but they end up going into it in their own way.
In their own way,
time.
yeah.
So yeah,
That's so fascinating. My God, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mhm.
So Josh kind of opened up your world a bit in terms of
Mostly how to, I guess, rather than read a Bible, how to interpret it.
interpret.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Yeah. Because before that, I mean, I would just read it literally and nothing. I couldn't connect to it. How could you? The words literally are quite hard to connect to.
Yes.
So that was very valuable. But for example, I'd go to church with my nan, or I'd go to church with my parents, which were two very different. Because if I went with my parents, I was going to a Catholic church, and if I was going with my grandmother, it was to an Orthodox church. So very different, mostly because it's a Greek Orthodox church. So there's traditions that are specifically Greek traditions that then take place on top of it being in a church. So like, for example, there's a Lebanese Orthodox church here.
Yes.
And though they are reading the same Bible, it's spoken in a different language. And then two, their traditions are different, just inherently based on their culture.
Very different. I went to a Lebanese wedding a couple years ago.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
And it was really stunning. I was just like, God damn.
The Greek Fest is happening again this year.
I love Greek Fest.
And if you get an opportunity to tour the Greek church, it is gorgeous.
I'll tell you this. I'm not a traveler. It gives me such anxiety not being here with my cat.
Fair.
But one of my dream places to visit is Greece. It's like number one on my list.
Oh,
like
yeah.
when I picture like, Sarah, what does your idea of happiness look like? And it's just me like with sunglasses on, eating fucking feta cheese on a Santorini. Like I want to visit there so bad.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like my number one.
And that is literally what
place.
happens. I mean, they have block parties that go till 4 a.m. where they just eat and drink all night and dance on the street. Like, they're free-spirited, man.
Oh man, have you ever been to
Love to see
Greece?
it.
I've not.
Man,
Yeah.
My
Let's go.
I know.
Let's do it.
My mom is in the works
Podcast trip.
of trying to plan a trip because my mom hasn't been
Drop
yet
gift cards.
either.
Really? You should.
And so that's something she really wants to do. Is
Life's
get
short.
to
Do
Greece.
it.
Yeah.
If you can afford it.
And that.
Don't go into credit card debt like I did going to Mexico twice.
But you have memories, don't
Was
you?
it fun?
I do have memories.
There, it's all matters.
Yeah. Yeah, I had blast. I love Mexico.
I love
Good.
down south vacations.
Like on all inclusive.
I've never gone as an adult.
Oh, you
I was
gotta.
always underage.
Gotta go.
So I couldn't even do anything like the stuff that happened. I could just go to the pool.
Right. and like when you were a kid, like going to a pool was a big fucking deal.
Oh, no, it was sick.
Pool
Oh,
was
parties,
like-
boys.
oh,
it was like-
sick.
It was
Oh,
like, fuck
yeah.
yeah, we're going to a pool.
You mean I don't go to school for a week? Yeah.
My gosh, this was, can you believe, how long do you think we've been talking?
45 minutes.
Oh, 50.
Oh.
Oh,
Podcast.
impressive.
We haven't even gotten to segment number 1 yet.
We
All
love
right,
it.
let's do it.
We're here for it.
So I have do you want to hear our assumptions first, or do you want to do the rapid fire questions first?
I'm really curious about these assumptions.
And I think some of these might have come out already, but we can revisit.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say, Josh, you're an optimist. You're a pessimist.
Oh, I would agree. Oh, I would agree. Absolutely.
No, I know that no one's ever one thing, but if it's a scale, you'd be more pessimist. You'd be more optimist.
100%.
I picked that up somehow listening, and I think it was your bluntness and honesty a lot of the time.
Okay.
And you seem to be someone who speaks with more caution.
Mm.
Put that on my LinkedIn.
Am I right?
Doesn't speak with caution. We were reviewing a TikTok today, and I was like, you should cut it there.
Yeah.
Am I right?
I would say.
But it's good. I think that contrast is good.
Yeah, it's funny because you say that, because I am so, like, you meet anyone in my past life, they would say that's so not true. That's so not me.
I'm just more negative than you.
No, it's more like I've learned from my experiences. Like, I'm half Italian. I'm a fiery individual. But I've seen how my passion has hurt people in my past. And when it comes to, like, that's the thing, you name any topic, I will go off about it because I'm just very passionate about what I believe. But I've learned over time that my viewpoint isn't apparently the only viewpoint in life. And so I've learned how, like, there's times I come across a certain way that actually hurts people's feelings. It really makes them feel less than. And I've had to learn to be a little more restrained in how I communicate, make sure I use proper wording, proper terminology, so that people don't get the wrong idea. And so that's partially why I'm a lot more cautious these days. Like, if you talk to my wife, she, that's the only space where Josh is still very much unfiltered, and he'll say whatever he wants.
She's the person you can be kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's in school psychology, so she's in kind of like the more like social work kind of sector.
Interesting.
And so, but like a lot of our TikToks come up on her classmates' For You pages. And so she gets to the point where, like, I'll be posting stuff. She's like, "You're not posting that, are you?" I was like, "Of course I am." She's like, my classmates might see that. I was like, "Okay, they'll see that you're married to a crazy. It's okay."
Oh my god!
You're not the crazy. You're just married to one.
There's a reason you
There's a part of it, definitely.
Got you.
Because my wife is a very sensitive individual. That's where I learned a lot of it. Is because I would hurt her a lot with just things I would say.
So again, maybe not what you're saying, how you're saying it, or the delivery.
100%.
Oh yeah, I've got poor delivery.
Yeah, we're a little weak on that.
Yeah,
which makes for a good show when we're feeling it.
Yeah. So that goes into another assumption I had, which is, you might be. I wrote down the word sensitive, but I guess what I meant was emotional, or in your feelings. You're a little.
I am
less.
a Cancer.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
I was gonna say that you're a little less in your feelings and you're a little more in your feelings.
100%.
That is true.
But even though, like, I'm feeling already that you got some feelings too.
Yeah, they're just different.
They're just different.
Yeah.
And you're Cancer. That's interesting.
Yeah.
What's your?
What am I? Virgo.
Oh my god.
I have Sag rising though.
Oh fuck. We're gonna be friends. I love Sagittarius men specifically.
Shout out to them.
Love Sagittarius men. Like, they're just the funnest people. And women too. Actually, like, Britney Spears is a Sagittarius. Yeah. Shout out Sagittarius.
Shout out Britney Spears.
Shout out Britney Spears. Okay. Another assumption about you both. Same assumption.
Okay.
You both have your shit together. And by that I mean you're financially stable. You get your shit done. You're living your life. You're not panicking about anything. You have your shit together.
I actually can't relate at the moment. I think I present that, but behind the scenes, like, I mean, I'm definitely still a 22-year-old who, like, screwed up when I was 19 and have debt. That I'm like
really glad to hear that.
Yeah,
because your show. Number one, I trust you guys.
I'm still normal, yeah.
I trust you guys in terms of what you're talking about because you're very knowledgeable and you seem to know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to hear that because that makes you more relatable to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's literally just at the end of this month will I be able to wipe most of it away. And I've struggled with it for 4 years almost. It just is what it is. I can't unspend the money. I don't regret spending a dime. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I did a lot of things. I don't regret it at all, and I would do it again. It just made me work harder. I will not be the one to file bankruptcy, so I had to work harder.
We're going to have an off-air conversation because I'd love to pick your brain about how to get out of debt and all that shit.
Absolutely.
I'm currently struggling with it. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. No, I'll fucking say this right here on the podcast because I think people need to hear this, and it's something we should fucking talk about. And there should be a goddamn class in high school that's like, when you're going to get a plastic card and it's going to have money that you don't have.
True.
Oh, I was given a
Maybe don't go traveling.
a $27,000 line of credit at 19.
Oh my God. See, this is the issue. And there's no course, there's no education on this shit.
And then all of a sudden it was full.
Yeah.
And then I got another.
Right? And it's addictive
and it
because
full.
it's so easy to get it.
And then I owed the bank $60,000. And I was like, wow, that came out of nowhere.
Oh, I'd love to talk to you. Yeah, we'll talk more.
Of course.
We'll talk more. I'm currently like, and I'm much older. I'm 35. So I'm like, it has to, push has come to shove. Like I need to get in a better situation to set myself up, you know.
Yeah. And it's stressful. That there were nights where I wouldn't sleep, where I would cry, emotional, just like I was like, what will I do?
People kill themselves over money. It's money's amazing.
I will never fight about money in my life, which is why I think one of the reasons I work so hard. I grew up not wealthy. I grew up where, you know, sometimes we were picking between A or B.
Yeah.
And I will not do that. I will not let my partner live that way. I will not, should we choose to raise a family that way? I can't. It's not right. Money's terrifying.
Yes.
Money. I think money simultaneously can fix all of your problems and tear you right back down. That
was a point you guys made on an episode I heard. Yeah. You were talking about money, and I think you were like, money's not everything, and you were like, it's a lot. And I was like, I agree with Dalton. I was like, my happiness for sure can be bought. I don't know about you, but
my security, it buys security.
To an amount.
Imagine how easy it would be to live your truth and experience your emotions if you weren't thinking about money.
What's dragging you down? The black cloud.
Because you don't owe I'm not saying you personally, but I'm saying like you don't owe your anxiety or your ADHD any money. You don't have to pay them rent, but you owe everyone else money. So what are you going to focus on first? What's going to weigh you down the most? Yeah. The money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair point.
Yeah. Do you got your shit together?
I mean, I definitely would agree with Dalton. It's all in like context or right? Like, I was in a similar situation Dalton was just 3 years ago, where like I took on a lot, like probably about 20,000 in debt, because I just didn't know any better of how to properly use a line of credit.
Yeah.
And the same thing. Like I grew up in a family that like, you know, we did okay. We weren't like balling by any stretch of the imagination. But like we did all right.
Right.
But like my dad comes from a very blue collar, low income background. My mom's similar, comes from an immigrant background. So like money didn't exactly grow on trees. And so they also didn't really have the financial literacy to also pass on to me. And so it took me a while, some hard lessons, you know. So when I bought my first home, like I just used the line of credit to like subsidize all my spending on the house. Before I knew we were like 20,000 in debt and I didn't know how to get out of it, you know, and it just took some time to like start figuring out how to like get your budget in order and how to make sure you stay on budget and making sure that you can pay off that debt. And so
there's a reason financial advisors always, I was trying to write a joke about it because I've talked to so many financial advisors and I get so frustrated because every single meeting ends with, well, you should stop buying coffee. Like they just love to tell you to stop buying coffee and that your life will change if you don't go to Tim's anymore.
I hate to
it's like part of the curriculum to say that.
Quoting Grant Cardone, but
not Grant Cardone.
But what he said was true. I grew up with the saying, a penny saved is a penny earned. It's a penny. Your coffee's not what's taking you down. What took me down was Subway being open on Uber Eats every night.
Oh, fucking Christ, Uber Eats.
You know, that's what, and so to this day still gets me.
Yeah.
It's so easy to order supper.
Yeah. Oh.
True.
It's so easy now to
Buddy.
order supper.
You don't even like my
Last
email.
week we didn't even make one dinner at home.
Yeah, I feel
Every
you.
night.
No, I get it. Like I have a lifestyle that it's just convenient spending. Is I was telling this to a financial advisor. I was just like, this is just my life, and unfortunately, there's no way around it. If I'm getting home from work and I have to get to an open mic for 8, I don't have time. I don't even have time to get groceries. Like or it's either order food, or don't eat,
right? Or eat at 10 p.m. after my show.
which would be McDonald's or something.
Right.
Like,
So then you're still spending the money and you're eating crap.
And I've also argued with them because I go, I've cooked meals that cost me $50 to $60 at the grocery store. And because of ADHD, I eat it once and it goes bad.
Oh, 100.
So to me, I go, if I spend the $10 on meals,
I eat the same meals
like
every day
I just
now.
don't, I don't see the.
Part of maybe like with my ADHD and cooking is I literally have the same breakfast and the same lunch every day.
Yeah, I feel you.
And I don't change, and it I've learned to love it.
Yeah.
Also I'm eating better, so that's good too.
That's really good. Yeah.
But do I want to order Pure and Simple every day? Yeah, because their avocado toast is good even on delivery.
Oh my God. It's
Sorry to say it.
I
Gen Z in my avocado toast. But it's good.
Yes. I delete the apps all the time and then I just re-download them.
It's like a toxic relationship.
It truly is. Okay. So I like that. So these guys aren't perfect. They're very smart. And at some point I am going to get you guys to explain cryptocurrency to me. Cause but we're going to save it. We're going to save it.
Okay.
Oh,
We're going to save it. So you have your shit together, but you're not perfect.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the key on that. I just wrote, you both did good in school. You were both. No?
I was awful in school.
I was awful too.
Really?
Oh, I was one bad and brood.
Like for marks?
Yeah. I had to cry to go
Both
to my
of you?
pre-cal exam.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
A good year was an average of a 70 for me.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. So smarts came from outside of that.
Absolutely.
Well, because all we were learning is stupid. It made no sense. It doesn't help me.
True.
I became a friggin' designer. I specialize in human behavior. That's what I do. Like, I didn't learn that in high school, right?
Speaking of which, I today was looking into like the design. Have you heard like the design types? Human design types?
I think so.
Like where it's like there's like 3 types of people and you find out which one you are. It's like manifestor, generator.
Oh, actually, I haven't heard this.
Can't remember the rest. It was interesting. It was TikTok got me curious into it.
Shout out TikTok.
Shout out TikTok. But I love like personality quizzes and
Right, of course.
Oh, yeah.
fucking live for that shit. I also said you both work really well together, like a well-oiled machine. Like your podcast process is
No.
smooth. No.
I mean, we have a process that it works for us, but it's not exactly. I
wouldn't call it a well-oiled machine. However, I mean, where from behind the scenes is concerned, where we have kind of stepped it up into being more like a business. The business side of it, we've become really good at staying organized.
Nice.
And I would agree. Do you think you agree with that? Like, I think
that,
yeah. In terms of like executing the show, I mean, sometimes we just show up and hope it. Like the last episode,
Nice.
there was 2 episodes ago where it was just me and Philip.
Yes.
And it was just like everything that was like camera died, like internet went out, and I was just like,
God.
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What, but you're still doing the point is that you're doing it.
Yeah.
Point is that you're doing
Straight
it.
up, man.
That's good to know. So those are my assumptions. Oh, actually, I have one more, which I think you already addressed. I just wrote that you rarely argue.
Oh.
So like I've heard you guys disagree. Like disagreeing is not arguing.
No, I
don't think we've ever gotten an argument.
Never argued.
You've never had a fight?
No.
Never.
No. Which actually
How
concerns
can I get
me.
them to fight on this podcast right
concerns me.
now?
Really?
Yeah. So this is the weird thing with me is I actually can't feel close to someone until we actually have a full out brawl.
Really?
Yeah. Like the people.
We're gonna get to it on this show.
Where I'm like,
tonight.
if I sense someone wants to fight, because here's the thing, I'm a tad vindictive. And
True.
so I can sense
Cancer man right there.
it's like and you've never done this where you've never even made me feel like you want to have an argument.
Right. No.
So,
But I think
Okay.
we've developed in a different way though. Like we've been to war together in a different way. Like, you know, and I mean, like, when I can feel close to somebody is when we've been in it. So, for example, we post a TikTok and we're getting like savagely beaten. Like, that's something I feel like I've gone through with you, where we're just like, no, we're gonna keep that up. We're gonna take our shots on the chin.
Oh
we
yeah,
we
don't delete anything.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
Check all your other TikTokers; they delete stuff.
I think that's what's cool about a podcast with co-hosts. Because there's a vulnerability hangover that comes from putting something out in the world that you're not sure how people are going to take. And so experiencing that together with each other and being there for each other, if it goes bad or if it goes good, like that must feel really good.
It's nice because it's kind of one for one, where it's like one can be there to support the other. Because
really
generally
nice.
the TikTok is of one person.
Right.
So it's nice in that sense that the other person's emotionally available to be like, no, you're fine. It's just gonna blow over. And it'll be 10 videos down on TikTok and no one will see it.
Yep.
That's really nice. Okay. Those are my assumptions.
I love it.
But
That was
now I have rapid fire.
Okay.
Let's go.
So who is late the most?
Oh.
Dalton?
Yeah. I'm obsessively on time. That's my problem.
Oh, really? Like
Yeah.
on time or early? Because early isn't on time.
Like, for example, I was here like 20 minutes early because that's just how I operate.
Were you here 20 minutes early?
Yeah. But we
I would
really
have been so mad if you came to the door.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm early to everything. I'm early to everything. I just hate being late.
What's the acceptable early? Like, I think 5 minutes is acceptable.
I think it's fine. Yeah, like
even 10.
I've learned, like, as a kid, when I couldn't distinguish that, I would like really upset people that would show up early to things. So I've learned just to wait outside.
Yeah.
And wait.
I feel so bad. Okay, now that we've met, please let me know when you're here next time. That makes me feel really bad.
No.
So
want to come
you're
together.
late the most.
Yeah.
What do you attribute to your lateness? ADHD. There it is.
Well, certainly that.
probably
Like, 100% that. Also, it's just that if my day's not like strictly planned out like in my phone calendar, I will forget.
Yeah.
But I'll remember like 5 minutes before.
Yeah.
Also, in terms of podcasts, we record in the city. I live in Bedford, and sometimes I fight traffic.
Oh yes.
And
Okay.
someday, like last week, there was an accident and it was bad. And this is what that, like, I couldn't stop that.
Yeah, I think whoever
But a lot of
takes
times,
more effort to get to the place is probably going to be more late, more often.
yeah, but and
Yeah.
sometimes it is just that I'm just forgetful or running late or leaving a meeting.
Didn't plan right. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
We're not going to talk about the guy who has to pick up the producer on the way through, but
Oh shit! We're gonna get you guys fighting before you leave. I swear to God.
I drive him home now.
Who is more likely to put their foot in their mouth?
oh,
Does
I
that-
think it's both of
episode?
us. I know. Actually, I think that's more so me because we've had to cut more episodes because of things I've said.
Full episodes?
Not full
Or
episodes,
just like chunks?
portions.
Yeah.
Because of stuff I've
Yeah.
said.
And it's not necessarily like you put your foot in your mouth. Like you say something just slightly wrong, or it's not really about intention, but it's like you just say it wrong.
Mm-hmm. That happened this week.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We had just cut it like 5 minutes out
Yeah.
because I again,
But it's better to say it. What if it's
Yeah.
good?
Yeah, exactly.
Have you guys thought about? I mean, maybe you do it. Have you thought about like
Sorry.
putting in like interrupters, like putting in clips to clarify yourself, or do you just say fuck it?
No, it's just like it is what
Fuck
it
it.
is.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like-
Especially right now, you can't explain your way out of being
No.
canceled right now.
Mm.
and that's
Yep.
the thing is like that's actually my number one rule.
Yeah.
Is I will never apologize for anything. So if I legitimately think there's something out that could be wrong, that I just won't let it release. Because I will not apologize for it. Because they'll come at you 10 times harder if you do apologize. I've learned.
Yeah.
So
You have to own everything.
Well, I said it. Obviously, I meant it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah. I love it. I love that. Okay. Who do you both drive? Do you both have cars?
Yep.
Yes.
Who has the messier car?
Ooh.
that's a tough one. Mine's pretty dirty. Like mine's like filthy dirty. But like I
Yeah,
don't
like
have-
my floor's covered in like dust and like an odd fry. But like my seats are all clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Hannah,
So
my,
maybe you both
my
have-
partner, she drives the vehicle in the day
Okay.
and she'll like dust it.
Oh yeah, I don't get that type of privilege here, so
Oh.
Yeah,
And you
it's a
both share cars with
treat.
your partners? That helps.
I don't.
Oh, you don't? You have your own?
Yeah.
You have the Tesla.
I do. Yes.
Fuck yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Oh, that's so cool, dude. Okay, so you're both kind of messy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say messy, not disorganized. Like I just have like the floors are gross.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I gotta clean that out.
Okay. Who is more open-minded? I'm so sorry.
That's a spicy one. I think it'd probably be you, though.
I think it's me.
Definitely you.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little more open-minded.
I think.
Wait till you're 29.
I'm a Gen Z.
Okay, and you both have partners.
Hmm.
So I want to know who is more romantic.
Oh, gosh.
Oh.
Probably you.
Do you think?
I'm terrible. Yeah.
I feel like, I know I could be better, but I don't know.
But I literally don't know what you do for Hannah. I just know you guys. I'll say this from an outsider. I've never said this. First time I'm saying this to you in person.
Ooh, podcast exclusive.
Let's
Oh my
go.
gosh, not even on our own show. No, I'm just kidding.
I can clip this for you guys.
Appreciate it.
Oh my gosh.
No, I think I don't know. You guys just seem perfect for each other. You guys
Aw.
really do seem to like really connect well.
That's cute.
And like that's the one thing you guys actually seem like you enjoy time with each other.
That is the
You actually
truth.
like each other?
Which a lot of like relationships can't say that, which is actually I find interesting.
That is the
Yeah.
truth. 100%. She's my friend first.
Aw,
Yeah,
love
I don't
that.
come before, unfortunately.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess I mean I don't know if I would toss myself into the romantic one. I guess
What do you guys think is the most romantic thing you've done thus far in your relationships?
It came at the beginning before I was married, and that's it.
Oh gosh. Well, I don't know. I do cutesy little things. Like I make like Valentine's books. Like I made a personal book for Valentine's Day.
Nice.
Like I had a book made of her and I.
Oh, that's cool.
But I do cutesy little things.
That's cool.
I just do
amazing.
little. I don't know, but it's just like I'm not the type to be like a million roses and like
Right.
ballroom
It's more thoughtful.
and like
It's more thoughtful.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was our 6th anniversary last year. I did edited a whole video of like all of our memories together.
That's
was
romantic
fun.
as heck.
But it was way our marriage started. That was literally the peak, and then I've never been able to equal it since.
Well,
Was I gave her I wrote up 40 cards of 40 things I liked about her, loved about her, and then the 40th one was the one where I asked her to marry me.
oh, that is
that's
iconic.
So sweet.
Never was able to imitate that ever again.
Oh God, love you,
I
Josh.
set that up way too high.
You could totally do. You could do something along those lines. I think I'd love to know. Like, what's your love language? Like, do you like complimenting, like words of affirmation, service, gifts,
Physical touch for me.
physical
Right,
touch,
that's
cuddler?
me.
You're a cuddler.
Yeah, 100%. And she's like words of affirmation, 100%, and that does not come natural to me at all.
Oh, but you do it because you're together.
Yeah, 100%.
It's interesting.
Treat others like they want to be treated.
What about you? What's your love language?
I like words of affirmation.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Like I need to be fluffed up.
That's actually good to know.
Yeah.
Water signs. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to be told like I'm doing good.
I love that.
Yeah.
Isn't that good to know? See,
Yeah.
we get to the bottom of things.
I
on this
know.
show.
What the heck?
I gotta compliment you more.
Ooh, here's another juicy one. And maybe the answer is both of you. Who is more likely to admit that you're wrong?
Ooh, I think both of us.
Yeah, that's about.
I think you're both pretty good at that.
Yeah. I think we see it as it happens for the most part and just say that was too far or that was too much.
that was too far.
Yeah, I don't think either of us I don't think either of us let our ego get in the way.
No, we can't. We can't
No.
afford that. The show will go downhill real quick.
I fucking love that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Who is more likely to get controversial on the podcast?
Okay, I think both of us.
Yeah,
You both
it
said things
depends.
that are a little.
I'm just a loudmouth, so sometimes it's on accident we end up talking about something controversial.
Yeah,
Where Josh is provocative. By nature.
true. That's true.
provocative.
Yeah, like for example, you probably heard on the show this week as a joke. It wasn't scheduled, but I did it as a joke to kind of mess with them, and then we ended up going into it. I was like, "Hey, Dalton, so what's your thoughts on Roe v. Wade?"
I did hear that one. I did hear that.
And I was like,
And so I'll talk about it.
"Yeah." And I was like, "You didn't have to answer that." And he's like, "No, I will." Okay,
Yeah.
let's go.
Do you ever get so when you do an episode like that,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and you hit publish,
Mm-hmm.
are you like just waiting for messages to come in? Do you get nervous, or are you just like whatever?
It's actually when it comes to our podcast listeners, I do not feel
Yeah, I don't even
I don't
look.
feel anxious
Right.
at all. Because I know many people who listen to our show know
It's a
who we are.
community. Yeah.
Yeah, versus I feel differently when we post a controversial TikTok.
TikTok is totally a different thing.
Especially if it pops.
Yeah.
Oh.
The second, like if after an hour it's past like 2-3K, you
Yeah.
can generally tell like that one might take off. That's when I start to like, I'll like anxiously like go check the comments and like the ADHD man's good for a couple things. I remember every single comment.
Yeah.
And I know which ones are new since the last time I looked. And I'm like, oh, that's new. What do they have to say? Oh, 3 replies. Uh-oh. Yeah.
5 likes. Ayo.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's a different beast
oh.
because I do think podcast listeners, like if they've listened to the show to hear what you're saying, it's safe to say they hear the context around it. They know
Certainly,
you
I've heard the whole
guys-
picture.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a little bit. It's podcast listeners are the best. Shout out podcast listeners.
Seriously.
Yeah, they do get the full picture.
Yeah.
There's no out of context takes.
Yeah. Mm.
If you listen to the whole episode.
Not
yeah.
yet, guys.
True.
Not yet. Yeah, I had a TikTok where I just literally we were making fun of Rogan fans.
Oh, I remember that one.
Oh, okay.
That was funny.
And it was funny because no one, and looking back, I'm like, I probably should have made it more obvious that like I like Joe Rogan, but I was making fun of the Joe Rogan apologist, like the broy guy.
Right.
Like I was making fun of his fans, even though I am one,
I get what you mean.
which is strange. And then people were
He's not an
really
anti-vaxxer, man.
really coming for me. Like the pro Joe Rogan people thought I didn't like Joe Rogan.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
The Joe Rogan stands were coming for
And
you.
I was just like, calm the fuck down, everybody.
Yeah, I'm here for it. So you're a huge Joe Rogan fan.
I would say like huge.
Would you defend him against all his haters?
Maybe I think it would depend on what the situation was, because that guy's got himself into some
Situations.
shitty situations.
Yeah.
I don't think he's
Like
a perfect
the N-word
person.
situation?
Yeah, like that was bad. Like that was bad. Like I don't. There's no way around that.
And he said it himself too. Right?
And
Yeah.
I think if he hadn't released that apology video, I would have thought differently of him. But I liked his apology. And also I mostly listen for the conversation, not him.
Yeah.
Fair.
It's usually the guests.
The
right?
guests are the most fascinating guests on any podcast.
Seriously?
I mean, you can hear a neuroscientist one week
Mhm.
Oh, I
and then
know.
a comedian the next. So it's
I
like,
love when Joey Diaz is on.
yeah,
He's my favorite.
Yes.
Shout out, Joey.
Joey Diaz, shout out. Let's tag him.
Yeah, for
Joey.
real.
Joey, hit me up. Okay, 2 more.
Okay. I love these.
Wait, what? I can't even read my own handwriting.
I love when that happens.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time.
Oh,
My
who
chick-
is? Ooh.
Okay.
Actually, no. I'm gonna ask the last one first. Who is more impulsive?
Oh, me.
Okay.
100%.
I bought a new phone yesterday.
Just because you felt like it?
You didn't even know about that.
No. But I know you.
Yeah.
Wow.
My phone was dying too fast, so I thought I needed it to go up one.
Oh, just get a new phone. Wow,
Just
that is
okay.
very impulsive.
Yeah, it's bad.
And then my last one is, who is better at investing?
Oh,
It
that's crazy.
That's
'cause-
actually a tough one because it depends what you're investing in.
yeah, Josh is a better crypto investor than I am, for sure.
But he's far better real estate investment than I
Ah, so you're both better at different ones.
am.
Yes.
Okay, so here's where I need to ask.
Oh,
Okay.
baby.
Explain like I'm 5. I'm not 35. I'm 5 years old.
Sounds good.
What is cryptocurrency?
All right, let me turn to the crypto,
What,
bro.
What am I?
All
What
right, so-
I'm 5 years old. What is this?
Yeah.
I'll just enjoy my snack while he talks.
Give it to me in like an elevator pitch.
Dang. So essentially, oh, man, these are tough. So I think the best way we can say it is, there's just so many out there, but there are just going to be different ways that we are going to be able to kind of transact with each other. If we go back to everyone kind of thinks that the dollar is trash, right? Well, the dollar was actually very efficient for helping us not have to transact via sheep or, like that's kind of what it was there for. And so now we're going to be kind of moving into kind of a new age of how we transact. The only issue, the cool thing is with a decentralized currency is America doesn't have control over your dollar value. Inflation hitting 15%, that will obviously people will get spicy over. It's not. They didn't say 15%. They said it was 8. It's like, yeah, well, that's 8. That they've been hiding the fact it's about 15, 16, probably closer to 20% inflation right now.
Mm-hmm.
with the decentralized currency, like that is stuff that can be more mitigated and taken care of versus like, Canada's going to print a bunch of money and devalue your dollar and devalue the fact that Frosted Flakes is $12 at the store right now is like terrifying to me.
Right.
It's just it's cool that way. And it's just the fact that and decentralized, what I mean is that there's computers all over the globe that kind of work together to kind of make the system work. If something goes down, it doesn't all rely on like one central location.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but it's kind of like a torrent, right?
Yeah, that's definitely.
Remember when you would download music through a torrent?
Yeah.
And you'd peer-to-peer, other computers would help you download your song?
Yeah. Similar to that.
Similar.
God damn, that's the best way that's the best comparison.
That was a great comparison.
Because I totally got it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And okay. How do you know which one to get? Like what this is like, you guys, well, number one, I got hacked. My Instagram got hacked because of
I saw
people
this.
selling Bitcoin.
Oh my gosh, my crypto account got hacked.
Yeah, he lost $5,000.
$5,000.
So why are these people giving it such a bad rap?
Yeah.
By doing sketchy things like this, which is ultimately making us look down on it.
It's because
what are they thinking?
They can capitalize on it. It's
Yeah.
like that with anything that's ever come up, right?
Right.
Like everyone, even when the internet was new, all the phishing emails that still haven't stopped, but like it was really bad when the internet first kicked off.
And like chainmail.
Oh my God,
The
yeah.
OG spam, right?
Let's go, right? Like it's always happened with any new technology. It happens all the time. And so I stick to kind of the big ones: Bitcoin, Ethereum. The one that is like kind of like the dark horse, and that a lot of people don't know if they believe in, is XRP, Ripple, which is more of a centralized digital currency, which will be interesting how that pans out. But yeah, I stick to mainly investing in Bitcoin and Ethereum because those are, I think, the ones that will last.
And you literally buy it.
Yeah.
And there's like some way that you can like monitor it, like a website or system or platform
so,
or what?
The one I use is called MDAX, and the reason why I use them is because they're a company based out of Alberta, and I prefer to deal with a company that's based in Canada.
Support local.
Yeah, that, and as well as like crypto is international; it doesn't know any borders.
Yeah.
So if anything goes wrong, it's easier to kind of go after companies within your borders rather than trying to hit up a company in Morocco, for example.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the reason why I kind of stick with them. But I only use them to trade, and then I kind of shift those funds when I'm done trading to my personal wallet that sticks with me, so it doesn't stick on a cloud anywhere.
So people can really make money on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Right now, we are definitely in the heat of like things losing value by like 80% right now. So a lot of people are freaking out. And so those who are willing and able to hold on will do very well after this is all settled.
And those who can buy right now.
Yeah, I'm still buying right now. Especially these are some rock bottom prices, and it's awesome.
I gotta buy a Bitcoin at some point.
You should, man.
My God. All right. Okay.
Take your line of credit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, really though. I can't even get one right now. Next segment, guys.
Okay.
This is the latest I've gotten to this segment ever. We're at an
Awesome.
hour 23. Are you guys good for time?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I'm chilling.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's what I like
As
to hear.
long as it stays
Yes.
interesting, I'm here for it.
Dude, absolutely. Okay, it is time for the rant.
Oh, the rant sound.
The rant.
I gotta hear this.
We'll go Dalton
mine
first.
is unfortunately not going to take up that much time because I'm sure everyone's already heard it. But it just happened to me the other day, like where it finally came to fruition. It's going to sound so dumb, but it is straight up the potholes. After this winter, the reason being, I thought I was fine. I got a new SUV last summer, and I thought this is going to be great for the winter. I'm going to be fine. Nothing's going to happen. And so I went in for an oil change 2 weeks ago, and I get a call, and they're like, "Do you realize that your front tires are like the baldest we've ever seen a tire?" And I was like, "How could that happen? I bought the car from you 6 months ago." And he said, "We've never seen wheels so unaligned that when you're driving, it's actually pushing the wheels."
Oh.
And they were like, "It's probably caused by the potholes."
Oh my God.
And so I contacted the city, and I was like, "Our potholes, like, it's your job to fix them. I sound like such a boomer. I pay my taxes. Why? But now I also have to pay." And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, there are potholes.
Deal with it.
And that just blows my mind.
Yeah.
That it's not there, and it's not like I wanted them to pay for it. They wouldn't even they wouldn't say sorry.
Yeah, that's
Maybe my rant's kind of stupid, but it's annoying, especially where it's like gas is expensive.
Yeah.
Vehicles are expensive. Tires are expensive, and you know, the dealership quoted me for 2 tires $800.
2 tires
for 2.
you got the
I don't
chance.
even know
I
how.
literally told them
This is how dumb I am. How much does a tire normally go for? I don't even know.
like $250 a tire.
Oh, okay.
So I
This is good to
literally
know.
just
I don't have
called.
a car, so I don't.
I just
know
called
switch.
any other garage and was like, I need 2 tires this size. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of a weird size, but we have some old like last year's models. And I was like, great, it's a tire. And yeah, just so maybe my rant is like the potholes and just owning a vehicle. If you don't need to own a vehicle, don't.
I don't plan on it.
Don't.
I was thinking about doing car share.
Okay, car share's kind of dope. Coming auto or whatever.
Yeah,
They're kind of fun.
because the only reason I would really want one is honestly just like trips around, like, you know, day trips, going to the beach, going like
Ooh.
Oh, it makes going to like Chester so much easier.
right, like
yeah.
like little things like that.
And you go on your own.
Yeah, like groceries and shit. Like I live near Sobe, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I'll make do. But like, it is a $500 down deposit though. I think.
It is. I think it goes on
2.
your account.
Oh, okay.
And then I think any vehicles that you use, that stays on your account. And when you,
okay.
I think when you close your membership, you get it back.
Oh, okay. That's better to know.
I think.
Okay.
So it's not
Okay.
every time.
Mm.
You just give it to them once and they hold it
Okay.
until you're done dealing with them.
Okay. Good. Josh, do you have a rant?
Love people, man.
Give
They're
it
gonna
up.
say no.
Give it up. Give us something
No.
juicy.
Get negative.
Yeah, so I think that's like legitimately is how I feel. Is I just kind of like Twitter sucks.
Mhm.
Social media is annoying. Like I showed you the other day, like this is how annoying Twitter is. When all the stuff was popping off with Roe v. Wade and stuff, I literally had one tweet that was talking about a woman was like, I'm so glad that I live in a place that didn't force me to hack my baby to pieces. And then the tweet after that was, I'm so happy that I live in a place where I could get an abortion and I could actually live my life and not be bogged down by a child. And I was like, this is Twitter.
Right.
This is like literally these tweets were right above one another. And I was
That's
like,
wild.
this is the craziest place. And I'm just so sick of it.
Yeah.
I'm sick of negativity. And I'm sick of just people thinking, this is the issue I have with social media. And here's the funny coming from a guy who hosts a podcast. I get it. But the problem with social media is it made people think that their opinion mattered. And
That is the tea.
And that doesn't annoy me. Yeah.
It's giving people like, you are so important. What do you have to say?
Exactly. And that's the issue with all like the social issues that come up is like everyone needs to have an opinion. It's like, well, 10 years ago, you didn't really need to have an opinion. You could actually kind of be left alone.
You can also have one and not.
Broadcast it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the right to free speech is not your right to not receive criticism for your thoughts.
That's right. That's
you
right.
can say it, but I can say something back.
That's right.
And that's why I don't get cheesed when someone says something back. It's like, you know, they're allowed.
They're loud. What are your thoughts on Elon?
Oh, I'm all for it.
Twitter.
Do you want to?
Elon Twitter? Well, the fact that he's like, we'll probably talk about it tomorrow, but the
Maybe.
fact that he's
Potentially backing out.
yeah,
Oh, really? Is he?
because like the spam accounts that they've actually
Over
coming-
40% of accounts.
yeah, it's coming out that these like essentially Twitter's board has been defrauding their investors the past few years.
By inflated usership.
Mm-hmm.
So their stock actually maybe not even worth the 30 something that it was. And Elon paid $4.54.20 for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So Elon's like, maybe, and I'm sure that he's obviously a very calculated person.
Yeah, I don't know where this all goes. Either way, I know he knew all of this beforehand, and he's just doing his best to like really mess everyone over, and it's kind of
I think so, yeah.
because I really personally, I don't like the one thing that people have done a very good job of, especially media, is getting people to choose a side. For me, it's really I see the battle as mainly between those who are extremely wealthy and those who aren't. But we get caught up in division of, well, you know, you're a man, you're a woman, you're black, you're white,
left, right.
yeah, left, right, all of that, right? And it's like actually we all have very similar struggles right now. We struggle with debt.
Yeah.
We struggle with, you know, trying to have enough money for groceries, all these things. We actually have a lot more in common than we don't. And and so I think that's something I have to keep. I try to keep in mind personally, because a lot of things that we debate at times are definitely important. Don't get me wrong, But like I'm not going to get caught up in the weeds on it because I feel like we have a lot more in common.
And let's remember, everybody, you control you.
Mm-hmm.
So like if one of you has a thought that I don't agree with, it's up to me to either take that and go, oh, okay, that's what you think.
Bye.
Or get worked up, argumentative,
and
which works me up.
It just it creates negativity in you.
Like you have control over your reactions. I think people sometimes forget that.
Yeah.
It's also fully acceptable to no longer speak to someone.
Yeah.
But you don't have to make a scene about it.
Yep. Also, I don't know enough. I don't know enough about this to engage in this conversation right now.
Yeah. I'm not going to talk
Powerful
about that.
words.
I'm not going to talk about that right now.
Totally.
Yeah. We're not getting into this right now.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's actually a very adult response.
Yeah.
When you are in an uncomfortable situation.
So I'm going to assume that you guys aren't the types to, okay, well, maybe not. So social media on that subject, things like Facebook, a lot has come out recently with Black Lives Matter, COVID, all these, opinions, people blocking and deleting friends for having different opinions. Are you people who do that or no?
It's happened to me.
Yeah. I don't think it hasn't happened to me because I'm not the person. I refuse to post those types of opinions online.
Yeah.
Just because I'm a huge believer. I may call it my design background, but I think context is very important. And whatever I'm feeling that day, it could be right, but it also, depending on
might be charged.
But because someone's had a terrible experience that day, like I had friends where like, I could have a very interesting, nuanced approach to say Black Lives Matter and being kind of like, hey, I'm against the movement behind it. And I can maybe talk about that. And that's right now, like that will probably get people fired up. But then, I have a friend of mine who's Black, who's just coming home from work and maybe someone threw the N-word at him.
Right.
And he reads that and he's like, wow, that is so hurtful that Josh would say that. Like that's like, there's like, I'm just using that as an example where it's like, there's anything that could happen. Like if you say something, you could be right. But depending on someone's context, it could be wrong. Because you can't control the context someone receives your message in online.
So true. And those little things that happen throughout your day definitely impact like how you act online.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Like when the Chris Rock and Will Smith stuff happened.
Oh baby.
I'm not someone who goes and comments a lot.
Yeah.
I will watch the comment wars.
Me too.
And eat popcorn.
Yeah.
But I got into it with some Facebook friends and I never deleted them, but I used it I was like looking at non-comedians talking about the issue and I went, I'm a stand-up comedian. I have something to say about this.
Yeah. Like, and I support you on that actually.
I was like, this is one that like I can speak to. I'm not on Chris Rock's level, but I can speak to the art form.
Definitely.
And how disrespected the art form is.
Seriously, how like awful. And like, look what's happened since too, right? Like there's several situations, like even the Chappelle situation, where people are jumping up on stage and trying to take out comedians, right? Like it's set a precedent. And I can only imagine as a stand-up comedian where it's like, wow, if you say something someone dislikes, and I know you can tend to be on the edge of your side. Yeah. Like apparently now it's, acceptable to be free reign on comedians.
And then add race, add gender, into it. Straight white male could also get attacked, but also it's like, we have the race factor, the woman factor. Like as a woman, if a man stood up during one of my sets and started to walk towards the stage, I would get really freaked out.
Yeah.
Rightfully
it's a very vulnerable place to be in when you're alone on a stage with a mic.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
It's you're trying to tell me to do it and I'm never.
We'll get into that. I mean, you got to do it. I think if it's in you to like, if you have that nudge of like, I should try it, you should definitely try it.
Oh man. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I'm just not funny. So that's my issue. I have no content. I have no content, dog.
Well, what made you want to what's made you want to do it?
So I have a background in public speaking.
Oh. Yes.
But I also love, I don't know, I definitely can see the value in stand-up comedians and stand-up comedy. And it's the reason why I want to try it is just because I'm someone, I love trying new things. I'm like, I'd probably be terrible at it, but I tried it. You know,
experience.
I did it once in like a drama class in high school.
Yeah.
But I would love to try it in front of like a crowd that's actually expecting to laugh.
Dude.
That would be like, and just to bomb so hard would be the absolute like humility that I need in my life.
You should do it. Okay, like let me know if you ever want to.
Yeah.
I've set up with a couple of friends of mine. I've had people come over and we set up like a little mock comedy club in here.
Oh, really?
And as practice to just be like, get up and like say what you think you're gonna say, and like just do a little prep, and then go do the mic.
You know what?
Because there's a lot. This is what I'll say, like especially with men starting, I feel like women are far more prepared. But like with men starting, I do feel like
Let's go off the dome.
I do feel like they get up there and they like tell one funny story.
And then the end.
And then that's it.
No.
I would say like whatever you're thinking of saying, try to make them into jokes.
Yeah.
Set up punchline, super easy.
Mm-hmm.
And prepare. And if you're someone who likes to go off the cuff, you can certainly do that, but have some jokes prepped.
Right. Totally.
That's my advice.
Yeah, I definitely will have things prepped. Because like I am so bad off the dome. I can't do it. So
Do it? Yeah.
prep is me.
Me neither. I think you should try it. This is exciting.
Dude, I should. I you know what?
This is exciting.
Just for you, I'll start working on
Oh
some
my
actual
God. You
material.
could make a little TikTok vlog about it.
Dude.
Oh my
A little
gosh.
series. Josh tries stand up. So I have a series on YouTube called Sarah Tries Stand Up, and it was me leading up to my first set. And I was just like, it's embarrassing to look back on because I was over preparing. I was like analyzing everything, and like it was super embarrassing how seriously I took it when really I just should have just had fun with it and gone up and done it. But like I have like 3 videos of like the insecurities beforehand, I think the surprise first set because I didn't plan to do a set and then I did one. And then the ladies' night show, which was like my bigger show, which was my second set, that was like more planned and my name was on a poster and all of this. So I have like 3 videos that kind of go through that. But like it's kind of a cool thing to document because if you do stick with it, you can look back and go, look at me when I was a little like naive.
That's what it's there
person.
for.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I am just curious. Like, what are your thoughts on Christina P as a comedian?
I love her as a person.
Okay.
But I've never seen her stand up.
Oh, interesting.
But it's funny you say that. I plan on watching her special soon.
Okay. Me and my wife just watched it.
Did you like it?
I liked it. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's definitely like it's definitely edgy humor for like
nice.
but like very anti like PC, which I think was really interesting.
Ooh.
So
Mama likes.
Especially since Netflix just came out how they like firing all their woke employees.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just came out about that.
Firing their woke employees?
Pretty much. So what they've done is they said, we're done censoring our content. If you don't like what we're producing, you can leave.
They're going the other way.
Yeah.
The exact other way.
Yeah, which I think is what they should do.
Fuck yeah. I'm here for that.
Yeah, do that instead of taking away the right to share passwords.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's why we like Netflix. That's the only thing left.
Yeah.
Maybe reduce the price a smidge.
Yeah, right.
When I found out how much it was costing, I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was paying that much.
It's a little pricey. It's a little pricey.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, I'm someone like I pick a streaming service each month that I stay. It's like
True.
because I can't afford them all.
It's the way to do
And
it.
like,
That's the truth.
There's literally some months that I'm like, there's better stuff on Crave than Netflix.
It's true.
Yes. I love Crave right now.
And I wish it could be. I think financial security for me would be to have all of them and be able to afford it. But yeah, no, it's a tricky thing. Everybody, we're gonna take a shift and get into the third segment.
Okay.
We've talked assumptions, we've talked rants. You guys might have touched on some of this already, but I would love to know what's wrong with you.
Love it.
What's something you're dealing with, struggling with, navigating, trying to be better?
Yeah. Do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
Josh, you go first.
I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will preface this by saying this is my experience. And I know a lot of people will look at me and be like, Josh, let's get serious. But it's something that's actually hit me pretty hard just this past week. And something I learned about myself was when I'm faced with trial or faced with any type of it's something I have to overcome, or if even I get bored, I'm very quick to go to sweets and sugar and junk food. And I didn't realize that until this weekend. And when I was like this past weekend, I'm like specific, I was like really in my feelings on some things. And my wife was out, she was enjoying the day. And so I had no one to really talk to about these things. I didn't know what to do with these feelings. And I just kind of was just like really sad and like really in it and didn't know why. And I was just kind of driving around throughout the day. I went to the driving range, which was fun. But just like kind of felt this pit where I just really couldn't express what I was feeling. I was just this really like just feeling just down on myself. And then I just caught myself leaving the grocery store with a roll full of cookie dough, ketchup chips, a variety of other junk food, ice cream. And for me, with the understanding, like, I'm going to go home and watch the hockey playoffs while I eat some of this. But I'm like, no, like I really had to watch. I'm like, no, I'm just eating this to make myself feel better about my feelings, which I've never acknowledged that before.
And has this happened before? This type of behavior, like maybe in small doses?
This is definitely, it's definitely it's 100% of what's the word I'm looking for? Habit?
Bad habit?
Or pattern. It's a pattern.
Oh.
It's definitely a pattern of mine. But I didn't realize it until this weekend.
No way.
I was like, wow.
Well, good on you for realizing that and making the connection that it was connected to your feelings.
Right.
Also, sweets, better than guns, everybody.
Ain't that the truth?
I will encourage you any day. Eat more cookies, but just don't go shoot up a school.
True. I'll keep that one in mind.
I do feel for, as much as men annoy me and whatever, I do feel for men in terms of how they've been socialized to deal with feelings. Because a lot of men don't know how to deal.
Right.
Certainly.
That's true.
And so I can't imagine it's an easy thing to navigate.
Yeah, no, it's as I said, I'm a very emotional person. But because I'm so emotional, I was always kind of told growing up that I need to stop. It was kind of the weird way of like, it wasn't like, shut up and man up. It was just like, your feelings annoy me, so stop them.
Right.
Because I'm always super competitive. Whenever we're playing sports, you need to tone it down, Josh. Like, relax.
Right.
Or like, I just, I'm feeling passionate about a situation. Like, Josh, you need to cut it back.
Told to be smaller.
Yeah, every time. And so, so I'll be honest, like, this is where Josh gets passionate, where, like this was like, again, just looking at my perspective through my own lens, where like, the feminism movement was like, women are always told to be smaller and men don't get it. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? I'm told that all the friggin' time, you know?
And they're not talking about it because they've been socialized to not talk about it.
Right.
So we're not hearing about it.
But yeah, so that's just like, like my experience, which actually isn't this, for a lot of men, isn't the same experience.
Right.
Like in some ways, that's a similar experience that a woman would have felt.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
But then I would take it so personally.
Of course.
I'm like, what the heck, man? And then it took me years to realize the stuff that's being talked about in the media, like social issues, like, oh, a lot of this doesn't actually apply to me. So I need to stop taking it so personally. Because I'm like, I'm not doing that, but I'm doing, and it was like, it actually took having a wife, to realize like, oh yeah, you're right. You're not doing those things. I don't know why you're upset.
Yeah. Right.
And I was like, yeah, but they're attacking me, that's how it would feel. And so it was really interesting. So that's why I find it personally intriguing, seeing a lot of men come out against this type of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious, do they have like legitimate like beef with stuff that's being talked about, or is it just insecurity? I don't know. So it's an interesting conversation.
It's
interesting.
It's an cancer, man. How do you deal with feelings?
Not always the best. Definitely not always the best. Yeah, sometimes I can get very either not aggressive, because I'm certainly never aggressive, but I will verbal diarrhea. Like I'll let it all out, or I stonewall.
Right. Oh yeah.
I have no middle ground, which is not always the best.
You and I are the same. I'm the exact same way.
So it's really hard to it's hard to work on that. It's like learning how to play an instrument for the first time. You know, I've never practiced because I just didn't. That's just how I've always been.
Right.
By nature of whatever my circumstances, where I lived, I don't know why, but it's what I became.
Right.
So it's really hard to learn how to manage emotion effectively and
not lash out at people is a big thing.
Yeah, it's huge.
Certainly. And I love tearing a strip off someone. Oh, I love it.
I do too.
I do.
Do you do it verbally?
Absolutely.
Face to face?
Certainly.
Keyboard?
Both.
Mm.
Oh yeah, you do.
Do all three at the same time.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm down for the get down whenever it comes my way. Oh yeah.
So you like telling people off. Are you someone who will do it
only when it's just?
Only when it's just. Do you then apologize? Do you do it and then go away and feel bad and then apologize?
No.
Josh.
No.
Josh shook his head right away.
No. And you know, it's not the right way to deal with things. I recognize that. And maybe part of it stems from not being taken seriously in business. And so I feel like I know that's 100% why it started. Is I thought if I was louder or more aggressive, you'd hear me. You just look like an ass. So now as much as I love it, I reserve it for when it's fully just. Interesting. Yeah. But that's still in me.
Huh.
Yeah.
And
but before it was like whoever wanted it could get it.
You want some? Go get some.
Yeah.
Do you think the not being taken seriously part, like that probably plays a lot into a lot of things because the need to prove something
and being not even 20.
Yeah, oh my
where I'm like I'm still genetically haven't finished developing my brain.
No, yeah, you got some years left.
Yeah. So it was like dealing with like becoming an adult. The reason I got into real estate was my grandmother dying. So it's like trying to process a death. And you know, going through that and then starting a business with what she had started and taking it to that next level and wanting to grow it so rapidly and everything. It was just like, you know, anyone could get like neighbors at like anyone, just whatever it was. I was going just to 100. Yeah.
You guys workaholics?
Yeah. I would say within the last, since I got into a relationship, I've become really good at not answering people.
Nice.
Yeah. And to maybe some people, I'm not sure. We've never talked about it, but it's unapologetically.
Nice.
And it just is what it is. If I'm doing something, especially with someone I love, I will get back to you. Do
you turn off notifications?
No, I'll just mute it.
Nice.
It just is what it is at that
Boundaries.
moment. Yeah.
Good for
at
you.
that moment, it is what it is. And it's not that I'm ignoring anyone and I always get back to them and I always apologize, but it's just in that moment, it's not.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sad. Household culture, I know we're fans of hard work, both of us, all of us here. But I do think it could kill us. Honestly.
Oh yeah. That
like
said,
it's this, the mentality needs to be balanced out.
Do you like, I mean, I can relate, like I'm up thinking all night.
Yeah.
You know, or at least until I fall asleep, I'm thinking.
Yeah. Or
on a laptop or my phone or my iPad. Like I've got enough devices where I can always be kind of connected.
Yeah.
And I'm never fully not.
Right.
You know, like if Josh called me 3 times in a row, whatever I'm doing, I would assume I should pick up. Like there must be an emergency. So in that case where it's like, if I have to be on, I guess I'm always ready to be on.
Right. What about you, Josh? Like, do you have a good work-life balance?
No. It's like,
thank you for being honest.
Yeah. The difference I think with you is because your work requires you to always have to be talking to people. Whereas mine doesn't have to. It's really easy for me just to go, I'll start working on this design now type of stuff. Right. So I'll start going
That's a good point.
So I'm not really good at it. Like I've gotten better. But like only because like I have a wife that's like, Josh, I really feel like you're kind of dismissing me. You're kind of just in your own world, which is definitely possible. It happens a lot. And so like even tonight, like we'll finish here and I'll probably I still need to go home and do like 2 to 3 hours worth of work for clients. And it's just like how it goes, you know, and I have learning trying to be better at eating. properly, so that I can get better sleep, so I can be rested, so I can always kind of be on.
Yeah.
Because that's the also the kind of the problem is when you're around like kind of the business culture and you're around other people, especially other successful business owners, you always feel like you're not doing enough.
Right.
You always like, like I have friends that will look at me. It's like, Josh, you're doing so much. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, compare myself to those in my circles or my business circles. And I'm like, I'm doing nothing.
And then you feel like you have to live up to that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like.
And I think that it's one of those things that could tip into extremes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I think that there is Gen Z. Shout out Gen Z.
Shout out Gen Z.
I think y'all are lucky because you have a focus on mental health and you have a focus on self-care.
Yeah.
But I've been hearing a lot of professions, one being my sister's a vet. We're not getting any vets because they don't want to put the work in and they don't want to work long hours. They want to work their 8 hours and go home.
Yeah.
Same for doctors.
Yeah.
There's actually not a lot of people wanting to be doctors because they don't want to put in that work.
For the first time
For
ever,
that reason.
CBU opened up 5 extra seats into their medicine program because they need the doctors.
Yeah, there's like no one wants to work
Yeah.
hard. Maybe. Like I do think there's a lot of value in the job that, is 9 to 5, clock in, clock out. Of course there is. But I do think, I think if you're going in a certain direction, you got to put more work in than others.
I mean, to say that, someone's sales position is as hard as being a surgeon is laughable.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, right? Yeah.
I don't want to be the surgeon. Yeah. That's too much for me.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird thing, but I also think, we got to be feeding ourselves. We got to be sleeping. Those are the 2 most basic things.
Mm-hmm. Your feet need to hit the ground in the morning, and you got to do what you can to make sure you get there.
Yeah. I'm pretty ruthless with people who have lofty ideas. And I go, are you willing to do the work? And then they recoil, and I'm like, well, there you go.
Because you would have said yes instantly.
There's so many people who wanted to start podcasts with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've called them out and said, oh, so you want the credit for none of the work.
Oh.
Whoever if I do a podcast with a co-host, I want it to be a situation like this where both people are serious.
Right.
And of course there's going to be different duties for each person.
Sure.
But I want someone who cares enough about it and is invested just like I am. And like you guys said, it takes it like a business, not just this is my time to show up and be funny on a mic and then go home.
Totally.
Right.
I mean,
fuck that.
Seriously. I mean, in fairness too, like even like kind of like halfway through the kind of season 1, when I had the great idea of trying to start a design business at the same time I was trying to start the podcast. Like there was days where like I wasn't planning on going to the show until Dalton calls like, hey, what are we doing tonight? I'm like, I guess I should go.
Motivator.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
and likewise, there were nights I felt that way.
You both care enough about it.
Yeah.
And that is the key.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
100%.
And it's just, it's it can be frustrating when you don't see that same drive in other people.
Right.
But I just have to then go, we're all just different.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like we're all just different. And this is where I am.
Totally.
Yeah.
And where I am is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta think of the positives, I guess,
Totally.
Absolutely.
The positives of doing cool shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of positives to it.
There's I think you can.
We're sleepy, but we're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I always think of
Totally.
15, 20 years from now. Do I think what I'm doing now will be worth it? As long as I always say yes.
Yeah.
I think I'm on the right track.
Yeah. Absolutely. And what did you gain from it? Probably so much in the not even 2 years that you guys have been doing it.
Certainly.
Absolutely.
And the best is only yet to come for these guys.
Prayers going up for the boys.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Anything else on the what's wrong with you, or can we move on to the last segment?
I think
Yeah.
we can move on.
So the last segment is the last segment for a reason, because it's, if you've made it,
Spicy.
we're coming up on 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
153,
Wow.
you guys.
We're hitting records. We haven't done this on our own show.
I know.
Yeah, I think if you pass 2, you've broken it, I think. So the last segment is the unpopular opinion segment. Don't hate me for this, but it's time for an unpopular opinion.
All right.
The one most likely to get us all canceled. I
love it.
But it's at the end for the troopers to hear.
Cancel me.
All right, who wants to go first? Unpopular
I'll go
opinion.
first.
Yeah, go for it.
Here we go.
I'll explain it after I make the statement.
Let's go.
But landlords provide a service.
Ooh.
And not all landlords, actually very few. But if you can find a landlord that is working, with a tenant to provide housing, and then in return, look out for them and guide them, and basically the things that I try to be as a real estate owner. I feel I provide a service because I encourage tenants to become homeowners. I show them how, if they want to learn. And they're not slum properties, and the policies are not absurd. So I think it is a service because they didn't have to go and put 5 to 20% down on the property like I did. They don't have to maintain the property the way that I do. If they want to maintain it at a lower level, that's their prerogative. But my properties are not those type of properties.
Dumb question.
Yeah.
Landlord versus owner. Is
right.
Is there a difference?
Landlord and owner are synonymous in Nova Scotia.
Okay.
Property manager and landlord are not.
Got you.
So your property manager generally has no ownership.
I don't think yeah, okay. I'm not sure. Yeah, like I have someone who lives down the hall.
Superintendent.
I don't know what she is, but she, if something's wrong, I go to her.
Yeah, so that would be like, you're on site, you're superintendent, you're building manager.
Yeah.
And what it's, I think there is a service there.
Yeah.
You are receiving something in exchange for money. In this case, it does happen to be where you live. Does that mean I think that slumlords should get away with what they do? No.
Of course not.
But the landlords who are genuinely in it for good, they are providing something to that may be inaccessible to others. And to speak very freely and openly, I spoke earlier about the type of debt that I was once in. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that was from a time. If I had went to apply for a mortgage when it was the worst, I wouldn't have got it.
Right.
So I spent the time of my life to fix it, to be able to acquire more real estate and then provide it to people. And I don't quite care what their situation is and why they're there. That's none of my business. If they wish to tell me, great. But it's a service.
That's a good one. Hey, and this is coming from someone in the field. So you're hearing it.
And that probably is, I'm sure it's so easy to call me entitled or privileged or a greedy landlord, and it is what it is. That's whatever.
Oh yeah. Oh well, with the high rent these days,
right?
A lot of people are really bitter, and they don't understand it. They
don't, and unfortunately, for the people who don't, if it's not, I am no one's keeper. Mm-hmm. That said, I'm always willing to explain why things cost what they cost.
Mm.
But
I think a lot of people don't get that.
Right. So, you don't. So there's a property right now that I'm trying to acquire, and you don't realize that just to get the garbage bins picked up is $270 a month, and to have the driveway cleared is $1,000 a month.
All of these little things that we don't see as renters.
Your driveway is just cleared.
Yes, that's right.
It costs money.
Yeah.
And that gets broken in, into everything.
Yeah.
And I'm more than happy to explain to people why something costs what it costs. The people who don't ask and then immediately crucify me are not the people I'm interested in explaining it to.
That's right. Well, ding that bell.
Oh, really?
That's a good one. No, that was a good one. I like that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's unpopular. A lot of people hate landlords, or they like to.
I hate certain landlords.
Yeah. Bad ones are bad, but there's good ones out there.
Yeah.
Kill all landlords, as you say.
Yeah. I rent.
Yeah.
And even the business I'm in, I still rent. Yeah. I think there's flexibility in renting.
Right.
There's benefits in renting. It is nice. If something breaks, I call my landlord. I'm also a landlord, so I know when I'm getting screwed. So I really have I know when something's not right. So it's very beneficial for me to be renting because I know. But all the way down to like my property managers and the staff and my team, they all take through the Investor Property Owners Association called the Rent Ready course, and they cannot speak to tenants until they've taken that course.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just little things. So it's like maybe you pay a little more when you live in maybe one of my properties, but your rent won't go up, and it's for a reason. So
there you go.
yeah,
That's sweet.
That's good.
yeah.
God damn. All right, Josh.
Come on, Josh.
What's your unpopular opinion?
This was a tough one.
Jo-
Because I don't really have one.
Oh yeah, right.
What's something you would say at a party that people would?
Dude,
You want to see my Tesla?
Oh my gosh, everyone would turn their heads.
Oh, 100%.
Oh my
Yeah, a lot of people
Lord.
really torched me on my Tesla.
I
but
know.
That was funny.
What was that about? Why?
You're laughing now at the price of gas.
Yeah, seriously, right?
But you were explaining, like, you posted like really informative videos about,
I was trying
about the whole
to.
process. I don't
Yeah.
understand
I
why
know.
people would shit on that.
People are bitter.
Yeah, that's what I've learned. But this will be an
Yeah.
interesting one. This is not. I don't know if it's like this is not. It's not. I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but I think it's just a fact of life, which I think is interesting. Next election, you will have a conservative government. 100%. It's happening.
Oh, that's like the truth. Maybe people don't.
The
wanna-
unspoken truth no one wants
Right.
to acknowledge.
it's
Right.
it's the fact that we don't like
Yeah.
Right.
maybe so much.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
You're a what? You're a what?
Yeah.
I'm not big into politics, but
I
Yeah.
get it.
but I've never actually. You guys were talking on the show about people came at you because you had said something about being fiscally conservative.
right. I forgot
social
about
conservative.
and then they
Conservative.
took it as like that
a
you
social
were,
capitalist.
right?
Yeah.
So you were talking about
I
how
forgot about
like in
that.
certain ways you
Yeah.
identify.
Apparently, fiscal conservative means something a lot different than what I intended to be.
Oh my God.
And so a lot of people, as soon as I said that,
They heard the word conservative. And
yeah,
then
there's
the
like you
pitchforks.
hate people, you want to kill everybody, and I'm like,
No, dog. I just like my money in my bank account.
seriously, says coming from the guy who's giving out $50.
If I was
Yeah.
more fiscally conservative, I wouldn't be in the shitty
And-
debt that I'm in right now.
And the thing is, people are so quick too, where it's like you just said something that we've never said, which was says the guy's giving out $50. We've never ever mentioned that on the podcast. It just happens and we move on. But on our videos of us giving away the $50, people are like, why are you doing it as a giveaway? Why don't you just go give these homeless people money? It's not a game. They don't have phones to go find it. Da 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 da. Again, I'm no one's keeper. There's a city that's supposed to look after homelessness. It's not my job.
But even then, so that one actually made me mad when someone did comment that.
Yeah, on all of
And-
them, there's almost one on all of them.
And I was like,
My God.
I hear you. I get it. But that's also one of my big core convictions is I will never speak about what I do for the housing insecurity or the homeless.
Yeah, that's not.
I there's stuff I do, but I'll never talk about it.
Because you're not wearing it for clout.
It's not who
No.
I am. I just like to do it.
Seriously.
Yeah, I got opinions. Yeah, it's so funny when you do something like $50, whatever,
Mhm.
fun thing for TikTok. It's like, and it's also a very nice thing that could make someone's day. But then you get criticized for doing this very simple, nice task. It's like
I know.
it's almost like you can't win
Yeah. I know and
I
I know that's
know.
You-
and
because-
that's the reality.
because it's like, would you rather they do nothing? I think a lot of
Seriously.
people would rather you do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think, at least from a brand standpoint, it's probably safer to do nothing. It's certainly safer for your image to not put yourself out there.
Feels that way, eh?
It feels that way.
Feels that way. I had Alicia McCarville on the podcast
Did
a
she?
while ago.
Nice.
And she mentioned at the time she did a thing where she went to a Starbucks and like I think gave them $1,500, like between the staff, like had them split it.
Nice.
And she also got criticized, like,
Yeah.
why didn't you give it to charity?
Of course.
But
There's
like, she had,
always
like,
something better to give it
Because
to.
maybe she loves her Starbucks workers who make her day every morning when she gets a coffee.
Yeah.
And so what? It's also her money.
Seriously.
Yeah. Like if I had a bunch of money to give away,
It's your prerogative to who it goes to.
I would go to McDonald's
Straight up.
Shout out McDoubles.
because
Let's go.
there's no one I've seen take more shit
Good point.
than McDonald's workers.
Okay, Hannah and I were somewhere the other day, and I was like, I watched like an elderly person. Just give it to this person.
Yep. They're always old.
And
always old.
I was like, what the
When
heck?
I was your age, I could do that 3 and 2
Okay, so
things.
my thing lately, and it's the only thing I get fired up about.
Okay, only.
Get fired up.
No, like at a fast food service or something like that. Is if I'm getting a drink, I don't want to hand it to me like this.
True.
Yeah.
And I will say, can you please give me a new lid?
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
But
that's
then they
fair.
cop such an attitude like, it's fine. They're like, "Pfft," and I'm like, ew.
Yeah. That's totally
Regardless of the
reasonable.
pandemic, that's not even my thought. I just know that you work in food service. You've been touching food all night. You've been touching money. You know, ugh. But I just say, can you please give me a lid?
And
Thank
that's
you.
nice.
And it's so easy.
And
to
you
just,
say it nicely, and that's it.
But I just watch these elder people just give it to them. And I'm like, what are you getting?
And anyone who's like pissed off because they're waiting long at fast food place,
Like, dog, no one wants to work
there's
there right now.
There's like 2 teenagers
Thank your
like
lucky-
trying to run the whole thing.
I remember when I was 14 and I was a supervisor at Shoppers Drug Mart, and I was like, I would take it from customers, and I'm like, I'm a child. I'm going to high school tomorrow.
True.
Like, why are you yelling at me? Do you think I'm the decision maker for Shoppers Drug Mart?
Yeah, you are.
Like,
Yeah.
what?
You run the Optimum program.
Yeah, like, yeah.
It is I mean, obviously, like they should be paid so much more than what they are getting. I got into it with a friend once because we were talking about pay and stress with jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I had mentioned that a friend of ours, this is the end of the episode, so I don't care. I'm going to say it. I'm sure she doesn't listen all the way through. A friend
Come on, friend.
a friend of ours has anxiety and works a service job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I was like, I get it, because dealing with people yelling at you all day must take a toll on you. And then that became, how is that job any worse than my job? And I'm in social work. And I'm just like, I'm not saying it's worse or better. I'm saying it's different, and we're all stressed.
Yeah, get medicated, girl. It's 2022.
Like this whole
Come on.
this whole just like
Attack the problem head on and move on.
victim mentality and like lack of empathy is a really huge thing right now. And it's just like, I'm not saying your job.
You're right, though. There is that weird combination of like victim mentality and lack of empathy in people.
Yes.
Where it's
It's
like,
really
theirs-
odd.
Theirs can't be
It's-
that bad.
Yeah.
Mine's so much worse.
Yeah, it's really.
You just double into this. Like, how do you just do that?
The worst thing that's ever happened to you is the worst thing that's ever happened to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hannah,
That could be you're in Ukraine and your family dies,
Mm-hmm.
or
Hannah
you're a
explained it
rich person
so
who didn't get a reservation.
eloquently, where
True.
she said, feelings are effectively arbitrary. She said, so you'll see people sometimes who are, out of commission, quote unquote, for 5 months because of a broken arm, where some people can sustain a concussion and get back to work the next
Right.
day. She said it's arbitrary. Some people may be
Mhm.
born where a broken arm is life altering to them at their core genetically. That that shatters their day.
Yeah.
Where for some, a concussion was like, okay, it happened. I have to keep going.
Yeah.
And she said, and you cannot make them change.
Nope. But that's just it. We don't put ourselves in other people's shoes.
That's right.
We don't understand that people are different from what we are.
Yeah. I'm sure there's no one on earth who's 100% like me. It's possible.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Impossible.
That's why like understanding and like I said, empathy is so important, because then you go, okay, I don't like their decision, but I know why they're making it.
And
Right.
even if I don't, if they're my friend, I tend to keep pretty good company. I would assume that they are well enough to make whatever choice is right for them and their family.
Yeah.
Why would I question it?
Man.
That's a thinker, man.
The truth.
Dalton was on fire tonight. You got a good one tonight.
This whole podcast has been on fire.
Let's go.
I'm glad we were able to do that for you.
Dalton, you gave some good value tonight. Appreciate it.
Of course.
You both did great.
Yeah, what are you trying to say? You did? What do you mean?
I love buffing you up, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
So you know, words of
20 minutes
affirmation.
ago, he learned like words of affirmation. And he was going to gas me up.
I'm just trying to think. I don't know if there's any. I mean, you'll have to come back on for another one sometime. But
Absolutely.
I
We'll
mean,
go 3
like-
hours.
this was okay. So you're at 208.
That's a record for us.
That is a record
That's like
for us.
we will never hit that again.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Fuck
But
yeah.
keep in mind, next week's episode that we're releasing
Oh yeah.
is completely, we are actually interviewing a special Bitcoin specialist. So
Ooh, I'll
that
tune
makes
in.
sense. Yeah.
Very valuable.
Yeah.
Because Elev8 Podcast teaches me things in a way that I like.
Let's go.
And they will do that for you if you subscribe to their show. Plug your shit. Where can people
Oh yeah.
find you? Obviously, subscribe to Elev8 Podcast anywhere you find podcasts and on YouTube. Do both.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers. It's free. It takes 2 clicks. Do both.
Elev8podcast.ca
Yes.
has been really great for us lately. There's some insightful information there. You can get all the links.
You have a great website.
Thanks.
Oh, thanks. That was all him.
That's great.
Yeah.
Obviously we've been flaunting these t-shirts around, and so just keep an eye out.
Mm-hmm.
There's not too much to say on it quite yet, but
Oh, there isn't?
what do you think?
Let's do it, man.
This
Okay.
This is
our
out
time to do it.
This is out
Okay.
this Friday.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Social Capitalist Clothing. We just started a clothing brand.
Yeah.
And
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Social capitalist clothing.
Social capitalist clothing.
Yeah. So the website's almost ready yet.
Okay.
Should we drop it?
Sure.
It's socapclothing.com.
No turning back now, baby.
You can't get to anything yet, but
Okay.
bookmark it.
Yes.
You know,
We're aiming for like end of the month, starting June.
No way.
We're going to start dropping our clothing.
these have all
What
been,
can-
these are all like our tests to make sure the quality's good, that it prints right. Like,
What can people expect from the clothing? The
well,
designs.
designs, I mean, we actually 100% got artists to do them.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is what we're calling Halifax Vice.
I love it.
And it was, completely done by an artist.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then obviously this was more inspired by me because being from Toronto, the amount of times I've been told I'm from away, had to get this
From
one. So,
away.
there you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's a small launch, very controlled because we want to make sure the quality's good, that they fit right. These have been washed like 10 times. I want to
Yeah.
see how they dry. Do they shrink? So
Yes.
if the launch is delayed, it's because it's only getting more perfect.
God damn.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's exciting.
Yeah. You're the first to hear.
Yeah.
I feel very special.
Boom. We saved it just for you.
Oh, I love it. And I adore both of you. I adore the podcast. Can people follow you personally on socials?
Me.
Yeah. I unfortunately won't accept follow requests.
I noticed you didn't accept mine. I was like, I don't know if I should be offended.
I didn't meet you in person. And
okay.
that's my
This is real.
criteria.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the people who I love connecting with everyone online, but I don't know you.
That's
Yeah.
fucking, I'm like that with Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I don't even who adds me on Facebook.
Facebook fucking sucks.
Yeah. Who's adding me on Facebook?
I added you, man.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Who's even on that thing?
I know.
Seriously, my man.
I know. Yeah. I go on there for like HRM speed trap warnings.
Yeah. I don't even scroll the feed,
No.
honestly. Like I it's mostly Messenger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do the occasional post or status, but like I don't scroll it like I used to.
No, there's no value.
No.
No value.
Zero.
Yeah.
It's going down the tubes.
Zero value. But thank you both so much for
Oh
coming
my
on.
gosh.
Thanks
Thank
for
you for
having us.
having us. This was so fun.
This was unbelievably fun. It's been so nice, like getting to know you both way more. I learned so much.
Yeah.
I have a lot to process.
It's nice because, aside from like our beginning, we haven't explained who we are.
Yeah. And
So it's
this
nice
is
to come redo it again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Haven't done that since the first
2022
episode.
update. Yeah. 2-year update, really.
Yeah.
And you're seriously both going places with the podcast. It's so great. And it's years from now when you're famous, and you have like an exclusive Spotify deal.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
I will be like, I had them on, episode 234.
Oh my gosh.
You guys are 234.
You can be episode
Oh.
1 on Spotify.
Oh, that'd be so nice.
Bucket.
If it
Yes.
happens, our agent will call
Please
you.
do.
Yeah.
Please do. Please do. I will say something controversial. I will get the media talking.
We love it. That's
Absolutely.
what we want,
and headlines will
We
be
won't
like,
sign a deal unless we can talk freely.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, thank you so. And actually, you get to end the episode with a bell ring. You gotta
I already rang it once.
actually hold it up and dinger.
This is your turn, bub.
There you go. Wait, you got to do it together.
Oh, okay.
Do it. There we go. We did it.
Physical touch freak.
250. Thank you for listening to the Intoxicated Podcast. If you enjoyed this week's episode, make sure you subscribe on whatever podcast app you use and leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts. You can also give us a follow on Facebook and Instagram at Intoxicated Podcast and check out our video episodes on the Intoxicated YouTube channel. Until next week, feel hard and talk hard. Intoxicated Podcast is hosted and produced by Sarah McClellan, co-produced by Sarah Nicole, and brought to you by the messiness of life.